Welcome to the Sheridan Yellowjacket broadcast. I am Dakota Hedden, and I'll be joined tonight by Andy Mayberry for the broadcast. We are going to go ahead and kick it to the coaches show to get everyone ready for the game. Our lead interviewer, Hamilton Mosley, is going to be asking the hard-hitting questions to Coach Kelly, so everyone enjoy.
Welcome, I'm Hamilton Mosley, and this is another episode of the Coach Kevin and Kelly Show. Coach Kelly, thank you for giving me some time of yours to last week. I'm not answering that again.
Okay, I like it. Yes, I'm ready when you are. Take control of your show. Let's go. What do you got?
Well, what were the critical moments and plays of the Lakeside game last week?
You would go right to the stake in the heart, right? I'm kidding. There were a lot. I hope people watching this got a chance to see the game. I score right there. That was crucial because if we score there, it's 7-7, and it's a difference in the game. And then you look, and we go down to we get the ball again. Our defense held them again, and we get the ball, and we go down to the 30, and we throw an interception. So we had a chance to go down and really show them what kind of team we are this year. We did that. We go down inside around the 30 area or inside. We turned the ball over 8 times, either on interceptions or turned it over on downs. And we were going up and down the field. We actually had 579 yards of offense, which was the most in the state last week, I think. And we only scored 12 points. And that's my fault, and I've got to be better. But, that's what you got to be. You got to hold yourself accountable.
Well, since Rogers has been playing really good the past few weeks, what do you think about the Rogers game?
Rogers finished in the semifinals last year in 7A. So they finished number 3 or 4 overall in the state. Okay. I think right now they might be ranked number 2 overall in the state. They're really, really, really good. We definitely, and I told our kids this, we have a path to victory. And that is we're a talented team and we do a lot of things well. But those critical moments that you asked about earlier, in the critical moments, we've got to be able to perform. And a guy that Coach Zach and I know, Tom Brady, you know who Tom Brady is. We've got to spend some time with him, some good quality time. One of the things he says is, in the critical moments, you fall back to what your worst is when you practice. So, if your best practice is a 9 and your worst practice is an 8, then you fall back to an 8. But if your best practice is a 9 or a 10 even, and your worst practice you're at a 4, you'll fall back to a 4. And, we fell back to our worst moments in practice last week. And this week, we can't do that against a team like Rogers because Lakeside made us pay for it. Rogers is even more talented than Lakeside is. They'll really make us pay for it. So, we've tried to lift up our worst moments in practice. So when we fall back to that, it's a higher level.
What do we need to do to win the Rogers game?
We need to do a few things. One, we need to break some long plays. And we've got some guys that can break some long plays. Isaiah Stevens can break long plays. We've seen several receivers we've got that can break some long plays. We need an onside kick. We need to get one of those, maybe 2. And our defense just has to keep playing just like they're playing. They don't even have to play any better. They just have to play like they're playing because they're playing good enough for us to win. But really, we've got to break long plays, and we cannot throw interceptions, and we can't fumble. And we did both of those things against Lakeside.
What do you do about number 14?
Number 14 is the best player we'll see this year. Last year, as a junior, he dominated. He played receiver, and he caught a lot of passes on us. He played defensive end. I think he had 3 sacks by himself in the game, and they had 13 sacks on us last year. And it was because of him, because we had to start paying attention to him, and the rest of the guys started playing too. And he's got 30, I think he's at 31 or 32 Power 4 offers. Power 4 is your SEC, like Arkansas and LSU and Tennessee, your Big Ten, like Penn State and Ohio State, ACC, Syracuse, that's the worst of the ones. Clemson, Florida State, Miami, those kind of teams. And Big 12. And so he's got 32 of those. I don't know anybody else that's got 32 of those offers. And that means they looked at him, and everybody that sees him on film thinks he's awesome. And last year he dominated our game on both sides of the ball. This year we are really focusing on him, trying to take him away. And, if we get beat, my rule is like this. Whatever they like to beat you with, take that away and make them beat you some other way. And that way they're not at least comfortable doing what they're doing. So we're trying to take him away on defense. We think we've got the right guys at tackle to play him at defensive end, and Ethan Cowden and Bradley Sturdivant on offense. And so we're going to try to take him away. And we're paying attention to him with one or two guys every time he's on offense. And if we can take him away, I think that helps us in the big picture. They still got a lot of dudes. Their quarterback is really, really good. Their offensive line's outstanding. Good running back. On the defense, they're all 8s. There's not a 6 and a 10. They're all 8, so there's nobody to attack. So going to be a really fun game, really important game. I'm looking forward to it because it's going to test our guys. How do we come back from last week, and how do we respond this week, knowing that this is the best team we'll play this year?
When you were a kid, what do you think? Did you have a favorite football player when you were a kid?
Yes.
Who?
I had a bunch of them. But my very favorite was a running back for the Dallas Cowboys because I'm a big Dallas Cowboys fan. You a Cowboys fan?
Yeah.
We're doomed. Dallas Cowboys was number 33, Tony Dorsett. Tony Dorsett played at the University of Pittsburgh. He won the Heisman Trophy winner. He was the Heisman Trophy winner in, I think, 1976. He was from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. Ran for over 6,000 yards in college. In his very first year as a Cowboy, he ran for 1,063 yards. He also has an NFL record for the longest run in the history of the NFL at 99, and it can never be longer than that because how long is the football field?
100 yards.
100, and they don't put it on the 0-yard line because then it's a safety. And he had one against Minnesota in which we actually lost the game as the Cowboys with the record being set in that game. Isn't that crazy? Get a 99-yard run, we still lose. But that was my favorite football player. I loved watching Tony Dorsett. And he was a really good running back, and I was a big Cowboys fan. They got me through some hard times, and I was just infatuated with them because it seemed like when they needed him the most, he would break a big play. Do you have a favorite football player of all time?
John Elway. He doesn't play
Oh,
anymore.
I love John Elway. You know what number he was?
He was 7.
Yeah, 7. Love John Elway. It's a good one. He was a fierce competitor. He wanted to win.
I like Brett Favre, too.
Brett Favre, number 4. Played for the Packers. He was a competitor, too.
You still get nervous before games?
I do. You would think I wouldn't. I've played and coached football for over 40 years. That's a long time. You won't be 40 years. If you multiply it times your life times 4, you'll finally reach that. And I've been playing football or coaching football that long. I do still get nervous. And, it's weird. I've tried to not get nervous because, who likes to feel nervous? But I can't control it. And whatever you can't control, you try to make positive. So I try to funnel it into positive energy because then, if you're nervous, your heart rate's faster, you're pumping more blood, you can actually think more clearly if you learn how to deal with it. So I do get nervous. I try to channel it as positive energy now, and that's really been a blessing to me because the first 15 years I coached, I got nervous. It was different than being a player because as a player, you could still go out and you control some of those things. As a coach, you don't get to control it as much. So really worked hard on it. But, yeah, I get really nervous before every single game.
So you say you played football when you were little?
Mm-hmm.
What position?
I played cornerback and I played receiver in junior high and high school. When I was in 4th and 5th and 6th grade, I played linebacker.
Wait, you played a cornerback?
Cornerback.
No, that's what I play.
Oh, it is? You ever intercepting passes?
I almost did, but I swabbed the ball at least.
You've got a lot of years left. You're in 4th grade, right? Yeah, I didn't intercept one until I was in 5th. I got my first one in 5th. So you got a year to catch me. I only ran it back 5 yards, then I think their whole team caught me because I wasn't very fast.
I stripped the ball too.
You stripped it? Big time. We need our guys this week to strip the football too. You think we'll get some strips this week?
I think we will if we do.
That's what I like. We're trying to. I hope we get some. It'll help us win.
What's one thing you want your players to remember about you as a coach?
I want them to remember a couple things, really. One, that I'm going to coach them like they say that they want to be. And what I mean by this is I asked them before the season, what do you want our season to be like? Do you want to be champions of the conference, the state? You just want to play football and have a good time? How do you want to be? What do you want? And if you tell me you're going to want to be a champion, I'm going to coach you like you're a champion. And I want them to remember that, because people, when they go out into the real life, into the workforce, you need to know what your boss is going to coach you like or manage you like. And if you say, hey, boss, I want to move up the chain, I want to be the president of a company someday, he's probably going to expect you to act and be like that. And so I want them to know I'm going to push them as hard as they say they want to be pushed. Now, I got some kids on the team that just want to be on the team. They don't even want to get out on the field. I actually respect them even more because they're going through all that heat and physicality, and they're not even going out on the field in the game. So I respect that more. The other thing I want to remember me for is truthfully is like I try my best to know what's going on in the players' lives. And we've got a lot of kids. Well, everybody, everywhere has a lot of kids that really have tough lives and tough situations. I want them to know that off the field, I absolutely love them and adore them. And if they are helping themselves, I will do whatever I can, probably above and beyond what I should do, to try to help the guys out off the field, with their lives, with their parents, with their relationships, whatever. And then finally, I want them to learn life lessons. I want them to learn that when you are a part of anything, they're counting on you. If you're a part of your team counts on you to be there, to go out there and do your job as best you can and show up. And they also count on you to encourage them to be able to do their job. And I want them to know that they have a role in life on the team that's as important as they want it to be. You don't have to be the president of a company to make a difference in the company. You don't have to be a preacher to make a difference in the lives of somebody else that you could witness to or that you could set an example for. And I want them to know that I care about them and love them, and I'm going to do all that I can.
What is the most important thing you learned in your career of coaching?
Coaching or playing?
In football. In football.
Okay. In football. Most important thing I learned. There's a million things I've learned. Don't get me wrong. I love football. I wouldn't even be alive today if it weren't for the game. I really wouldn't. It's a long story. The most important thing I learned is that no matter who you are on the team, somebody is watching you. Even if you think you're the smallest or worst player on the team, two things. Somebody's watching you to see how you act and react around everybody else. And somebody is glad you're on the team, no matter who you think you are. I've had players come to me and say, Coach, I don't think anybody cares if I'm on the team. And sometimes they've quit, and I've tried to get them not to. And as soon as they do, somebody comes up to me and goes, why'd so-and-so quit? I was so glad he was here. Well, the problem is they never told them that they were glad they were there. So everybody has a role, and everybody has somebody that cares that they're on the team and watches them. And by the flip side, somebody needs to make sure they know, because everybody needs to know they're cared about and that they're part of something, and that they want them there. And sometimes as boys especially, I think girls do a really good job of that. Boys don't do a great job. When's the last time you walked over to a teammate that you don't even know that well and you're like, God, I'm glad you're on the team? It's not normal for us to do that. I try to make it a point to do that to players, and I really try to make it a point to do it to the coaches too, man. Find a way to go. It has to be real, but, man, I'm glad you're on our team. I'm glad you're on our coaching staff. You did this. I'm glad you're on our team. I liked it when you did this. You made that guy feel better because when we were yelling at him, you went over there and put your arm around him. And there's a place for everybody. So that's what I learned.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever given to a player?
Basically, the important advice is when you're in a situation and things aren't going well, look around you at your family members or your friends who it's not going well to, and try to focus on them instead of you, and watch how it helps you just feel better about helping them, and it's helping them too. And that's what I'd say is sometimes we self-pity, and it's normal. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't mean we're bad. It doesn't mean there's not anything wrong with it. But when we do have self-pity, if you turn around and just try to focus your energy on somebody else, most of the time that gets a lot better.
What's the biggest high school you ever coached? biggest football team you've ever
In
coached?
Carrollton, Texas, we were in a school with about 800 kids in a grade, and that's a pretty big school. Here, I think Sheridan maybe 350, so more than twice as many kids roaming the halls. But it's in Dallas, and it's going to be big. So that was the biggest, and it's tough managing. I mean, there's a lot of kids, and it's not much different than right now. Rogers, they'll start out with 180 kids on their football team, and maybe by the time spring's over with, they'll have 160, and that's the way it was where I was. There's just so many kids, and the hard part is I love kids playing football, but man, it's hard to get to know 160 kids, and that's the hard part. But you're still glad they're playing. Give me a position.
Position?
Yeah, and I'll do the coach from the position. Like a football position.
Defensive back.
Defensive
back or like corner, like the same.
Okay.
thing.
Defensive back corner. We've actually got two coaches. And one of them's name is Coach Adam Dykus. The other one's name is Coach Ben Cathcart. So I'll do them both, two D-backs coaches. And if you go Coach Dykus is a young guy. This is his first coaching job. I know his high school coach, and he was a quarterback and played some defense, but he's a heck of an athlete. He's a CrossFit guy.
We're at Mountaineers Stadium in Rogers. Andy Mayberry and Dakota Hedden as the Sheridan Yellowjackets are set to take on the Rogers Mounties. Game time, 7 o'clock. We're about 4 minutes away right now. And Dakota, you talk about those big tasks in the world, those mountains to climb, pardon the pun. I don't know if you caught the pun, Mountaineer and all that. But this is a big one in front of the Sheridan Yellowjackets tonight. This is a Rogers High School team that they're big, they're fast, they were really good last year, and now they're playing at home.
Well, Andy, I know you brought your A game. We were 30 seconds in, and you already got a pun for us. So
oh, there you go.
We're off to a strong start, and we've got the Yellowjackets running out onto the field, the American flag waving, players going up and down the sideline. Big game tonight with a big foe in Rogers. We are up in the press box with a gorgeous view of the stadium. It's a very nice facility, and the Sheridan crowd continues to roll in, making a very long trip, and ready to cheer on our guys tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it is a long trip. The stands, 30 minutes ago, there were just a handful of Sheridan folks over there. But as we've gotten closer and closer to game time, the stands have started filling up. As you mentioned, that's a pretty long trek. And last year, I'll hand it to Rogers. I saw their athletic director just before the game, and I said, I can't believe we talked you guys into coming down to Sheridan on a Thursday night last year, on a school night for those kids. And he just looked at me and he said, I didn't make the trip. So there you go.
Yeah, good point. I forgot that was a Thursday game last year, and I believe it was the Game of the Week, KTV Game of the Week. So I think that's how it all shook out. But now we are returning the favor, making the trip to Northwest Arkansas, and we've got a big challenge ahead of us tonight.
Yeah, Rogers 2-0 on the year. They opened the season with a 41-3 victory over North Little Rock. Again, Rogers and North Little Rock, both Class 7A schools. And then last week, traveled over into Oklahoma, took on Muskogee, and took a 47-6 victory there. Again, a lot of returning great players for this Rogers team. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a couple of moments. But Braden, what are some keys that you see tonight for Sheridan to be able to be competitive in this ball game?
First of all, we've got to hold on to the football.
And I just called you Braden. I meant Dakota.
I'm sorry. I knew
let's
what you meant. We're over here looking at Braden.
Exactly. While we've got a second, let's just credit the guys behind the scenes here. Braden Seitz over here working our production. We've got James Phillips. We've got Carter Lowry handling cameras for us. And those guys don't get a lot of attention, but they do the yeoman's work here.
Yes. We would just be talking to ourselves up here without them.
Right. Which I do sometimes.
Yep. But, yeah, we've got to hold on to the football, can't turn the ball over, need to be able to establish a little bit of the run And whenever we throw a pass downfield, it needs to be accurate, and we've got to catch it with our hands. And can't have balls going off of our hands. And there's going to be Rogers defenders lurking if that's the case. And so just hold on to the football, and on defense, keep them in front of you, make them earn every yard.
All right. We're getting set for kickoff. First, let's thank JM Fry Inc., our sponsor of our pregame coaches show, our stream presenting sponsors, First Trust Home Loans and Roof Connect, and the game is underway. An onside kick. There's a scramble for it, and we'll wait to see what the official call is.
Looks like a recovery from Rogers. Yep.
So, not unexpected that the Yellowjackets would start off with an onside kick, as they do most of the time. Rogers recovers that just inside Sheridan territory at the 49-yard line. That's where the Mounties will take over 1st down and 10, as their senior quarterback, Jeff Regan, brings his Mountie squad to the line.
Yeah, had a chance to recover that. It stalled a little bit there at the end, got a little bit of a bounce, but good job from Rogers recovering.
So this is a pretty potent Rogers offense. Again, averaging about 44, 45 points a game. Regan looks to throw. He goes deep. He's got a man early, complete inside the 20-yard line down to the 15. For Rogers, that was Draken Volk. And immediately, Rogers comes up with a big play.
Yeah, huge play on the first play of the game on offense for the Mounties. Hit the post route deep down the field, got behind our corner and safety, and right back up to the line looking to run another play.
All right, 1st and 10. And a little reverse inside the 15, the 10, the 5-yard line. Touchdown, Rogers. Draken Volk again.
Went right back to him this time. A little bit of a trick play, getting the ball running with blockers out in front, scooch right into the end zone. 2 plays and a score for the Mounties.
All right, so very quickly the Rogers Mountie strike in this game. We're just 31 seconds into the ball game, 6-0. Rogers on top already, and on to attempt the extra point. For Rogers, number 54, Juan Chaparro. So, the snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it is good. And so with 11 minutes, 29 seconds left to play in the first quarter, it's Rogers 7, Sheridan 0. Let's take a 30-second timeout, and we'll be back with more Sheridan Yellowjacket football right after this.
So here at Manat Law, focus primarily on personal injury. When a client comes to me, my role is to try to eliminate some of those obstacles and some of those burdens that they're navigating so that they can focus primarily on getting better. Please call me. This is what I do, and I want to help you, and I want to hold those insurance companies accountable, or the person who caused your injury accountable, so that you're fairly compensated.
We're back at Rogers Mounties Stadium in Rogers, where the Mounties on top 7-0 here early in the first quarter. 11 minutes, 29 seconds left to play in this first quarter. So the Rogers offense struck very quickly that time. It's going to come up a couple of yards shy. Second down, call it 2 yards to go, the ball on the 31. Dax McMillan at quarterback. Stevens in the backfield along with him. The give again to Stevens, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage, powers forward, and we'll see where they spot his forward progress.
Yeah. Official is signaling 1st down. They're moving the chains. A very quick 2 plays, handing the ball to Zay, getting him going immediately, and really good push. The line fighting hard for those short yards.
And
we got a 1st down.
You know Kevin Kelly wants the ball in Zay's hands as much as possible. Rogers is going to be keying on him. He could also be used as a decoy at times tonight. McMillan has some time, throws over the middle. He's got a man complete. That's Jaden Green with the reception out at the 40-yard line, and the Yellowjackets hurry to the line of scrimmage.
Handy, that was great touch from Dax on that pass. I mean, the ball went right over the outstretched arm of the Rogers defender and into Jaden Green's hands. Good play on first down, sets up second and short.
All right, Yellowjackets will split Zay wide out to the left side of the field, 2 receivers to the short side. Dax looks to throw. He's being rushed. He goes down. 31-yard line, a loss of about 9 yards on the play. Big number 5, Troy Chandler in there, a 5'8", 200-pound linebacker for Rogers, makes the stop.
Yeah, Troy was in the backfield quickly there, was able to bring him down for a big loss. Is going to create a third and what looks like about 10.
Yeah, it's really right back to the original line of scrimmage when the Yellowjackets first picked up that first down. So it'll bring up 3rd and 10. They send 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, 2 to the short. Dax throws. Zay's got it. Crosses 40. Across midfield, first down yardage into Rogers territory and out of bounds inside the 40-yard line at the 35-yard line of the Rogers Mounties. And I know Kevin Kelly wants to see more of that.
Yes, well, big first down there.
Yeah, that's a Stockton Power Equipment first down.
Notably, a Stockton Power
Yes.
Equipment first down. You know, there's X's and O's and there's Jimmys and Joes, and that time we got the ball to Zay in a lot of space with blockers out in front, and he made a play for us. So big play on 3rd and long. Now we got the ball at the 35.
Yellowjackets trying to make it pay off. First down and 10 at the Rogers 35-yard line. Dax rolls to his right. Pocket rolls with him. He throws downfield. He's got a man, Dylan Smith at the 5. Touchdown, Sheridan.
Big play to Dylan Smith down the field. We had a flood concept going on out to the right. Rogers got caught looking for the underneath out routes and forgot about the deep man. Dax loaded up and slung it to him. Big touchdown for Sheridan to tie the ball game. Well, chance to tie the ball game up here, but it looks like we're going for 2.
Going for 2. The ball was actually a little bit underthrown. Dylan Smith had to run back to it, so credit him for making that adjustment, being able to come back, get the reception, and get into the end zone. Dax looks to the end zone again, and it's going to be complete. Isaiah Stevens in the end zone with the reception, and the Yellowjackets strike right back, and they take the lead over the Rogers Mounties 8-7 with 9 minutes, 15 seconds left to go in this McCoy Taggart Pharmacy first quarter.
Yeah, set up with quads up to the top of your screen, a single receiver down to the left. Really good pattern, and it sprung Zay wide open. Dax did a good job looking to his right, looking to the right side of the end zone where there was a lot of crossing going on, and it got the eyes of the defense looking that way, and he was able to throw it back behind where their eyes were looking to a slicing Zay Stevens. So couple of big plays from Zay on that drive. Dax did a good job hitting receivers down the field, shallow, etc. And like Andy said, good job from Dylan Smith coming back, high pointing the football and making a play.
So just to be clear, in 2 games so far prior to today, Rogers had given up a grand total of 9 points. They've now given up 8 points here in less than 3 minutes to go in this contest. So that big score, it's kind of stunned, I think, some of the Rogers fans. Cam Martin with the onside kick, and it's going to be recovered by Rogers at Sheridan's 48-yard line, roughly. So the Mounties will start 1st and 10 from there.
Yeah, Rylan fetched, number 82 for Rogers, did a good job running up to the football, not waiting on it to get to him, and giving the Yellowjackets time to get there. So good job from him on that recovery.
I'm sure Rogers has practiced all week long on that onside kick recovery. So Jeff Regan brings his Rogers Mounties to the line. 1st down and 10. Looks to throw. Now is being pressured. Scrambles in the pocket. Now is going to tuck it and keep. Crosses the 40, the 30, 25, 20. He'll score, but there is a flag down, and this one might be coming back.
As Lee Corso would say, not so fast.
We'll
We got a flag
see.
down on the field. They're pointing back towards Rogers. As the quarterback was scrambling out, looked like there was either a block in the back or a holding on the receiver. We're about to see what they say.
Yeah. And I'm sure
Yep.
head coach Chad Harbison is very frustrated by that because, quite frankly, he was probably going to score without that hold.
Yeah, he was in wide open space. Unnecessary penalty is what you would call that, but we're happy to be on the good end of it. So it's going to reset it to 1st and 10.
Yeah, the ball's going to be spotted at the 37-yard line. So they marked it off 10 yards from the spot of the penalty of the foul, and so he had enough for first down yardage regardless. I'm not quite sure what we've stopped officials talking about. Now they'll step away from the football, and 9:04 left to play in this McCoy Tigert Pharmacy first quarter. The clock stopped, 8-7, Sheridan on top. They're going for it all again. Has a man complete inside the 15 at about the 10-yard line.
They're wrestling for it.
They are wrestling for it, and Sheridan said they came away with it. I think, when you have dual possession, that favors the offense, and it looked like maybe number 6, Cooper Daniel, with the reception for the Rogers Mounties. They do say Rogers has it, so
Lawson Wallingford in coverage did a good job, timing the throw, going up, trying to get his hands in there and break up the pass. Almost came away with the football and wrestled it away, but credit to Rogers making a good play on the jump ball.
Wallingford led the team in interceptions last year. Good coverage there again, as you said, but Rogers picks it up. They've got it first down at the 10-yard line. Regan on the scramble. Touchdown, Rogers.
Athletic play from the quarterback, scrambling, spinning, fighting to get into the end zone. Several Yellowjackets around the ball, attempting to bring him down. Good play for Rogers.
My goodness, Dakota, at this rate, we're going to be here for a while, and it's going to be a very high-scoring game.
Well, hey, we like points. Points are fun. We get to call a lot of touchdowns, hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully more for one team than the other. But, yeah, off to a hot start with 21 points on the board with over 8 minutes to go, pending a extra point attempt here. So a hot start for both teams. We'll see if the Yellowjackets can respond on offense again.
Shapiro in to attempt the extra point for Rogers. His kick is up, and it is good. And so with 8 minutes, 22 seconds left to play in this McCoy Tigert first quarter, it is Rogers 14, Sheridan 8. Let's take a 30-second timeout and be back with more Yellowjacket football after this.
Shelby Taylor Trucking serves all your timberland needs in South Central Arkansas. With over 50 years in the industry, Shelby Taylor Trucking has established themselves as trustworthy leaders in the industry. From planting to harvesting to hauling your timber, Shelby Taylor Trucking is ready to serve you. Follow them on all social media platforms at Shelby Taylor Trucking. Learn more by visiting their website at staylortrucking.com.
We're back again. Andy Mayberry, Dakota Hedden at Rogers Mounties Stadium, and Rogers on top 14-8. A lot of scoring early in this ball game, Dakota.
Looks like a classic Big 12 game from out of the gate. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown to start the game, and the Yellowjackets are about to get the ball back and need to keep momentum. Was really impressed with, I'm not going to say the ease, but the speed at which, we went right down the field and responded to Rogers' initial touchdown. A good mix of running and throwing. Hope to see that continue.
All right, it's going to be a high end-over-end kickoff fielded at the 15. That's Jaden Green as he crosses the 20 and goes out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. So the Yellowjackets will start first down and 10 from there. You mentioned before, Dakota, that the Yellowjackets had a good mix on that last offensive drive. We saw a lot of Zay Stevens, but then we saw Dax McMillan throwing the ball to a variety of receivers. And I'm sure Kevin Kelly would like to keep that mix throughout the game.
You know, getting a lot of players involved on the first drive is great momentum for all of them, and so looking for that to continue here on the second drive. Would love to see us continue to be able to run the football.
Dax gets the snap, throws, went over the middle, and it was broken up. Nice play by number 3, Jagger Blockberger.
Yeah, we got number 3 on number 3 action here, coming over the top to break the pass up on the slant. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
Yellowjackets will send 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, 2 to the short. Dax has a man on the sideline and just overthrows number 3, J.P. Black.
Going right back to J.P. after the slant with a flag route. You know, he runs up about 7 yards and then breaks outside to the sideline. Little high and outside there. I think Dax probably anticipating some pressure, trying to get the ball out quickly. It did look like on the other side of the field, on the wide side, there was a little bit of a number mismatch of receivers versus defensive backs. So look for us to catch that next time.
Yeah, Dax was looking to that short side pretty much the whole way. Sets up the little screen pass, and it's going to go incomplete. Was trying to hit Zay Stevens coming out of the backfield, and was set up well, and it looked like maybe Zay had some running room there if they could have completed that pass.
Yeah, Jason Estes and Bradley Sturdivant leading the way with 2 Rogers defensive backs in front of them. If we're able to complete that and fit up those blocks, you know, Zay's got a lot of room to run, just barely missed it.
Big 4th down right here, 4th and 10 for the Yellowjackets. Looks like they're going to go for it on their own 23-yard line. Dax rolls to his left, throws downfield, in and out of 2 hands, caught by J.P. Black. He's at the 40. The 30, cuts back inside, and is going to be brought down at the 20-yard line. What a play. Dax McMillan threw it. The intended receiver, he popped it up from his hands. Another receiver had his hands on it, and the 3rd receiver, J.P. Black, is there, makes the reception in the big game.
What a play. I was trying to figure out who exactly the pass was intended for. It was one of the 2 guys that touched it with their hands and popped it up in the air. It was definitely not to J.P. Black, but great awareness from J.P., having his hands ready and just staying near the football.
Huge play for the Yellowjackets. Zay Stevens now tries that right side of the Yellowjacket line, and not much there. A pickup of about half a yard maybe. And now actually they're going to spot it right back on the original line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
Andy, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And that was definitely the situation on the previous play. But also, you know, just credit to JP for just paying attention, being ready, and being in a position to make a play.
Always keeping your eye on the ball, be ready for whatever circumstance happens to fall in your lap. And a huge play. Otherwise, the Mounties would have had it at our own 23-yard line. Dax completes to Dylan Smith out of the backfield. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown Sheridan.
Dylan Smith with his 2nd touchdown of the game. Could not have been a better play call for what the situation was. Rogers was bringing pressure off the left side of the defense with Dylan Smith motioning out to the left. It just created a numbers mismatch. The receivers did their job, fitted up, made their blocks, and Dylan really had a pretty easy time getting into the end zone.
So with just a little over 5 minutes into this ball game, Sheridan has now outscored North Little Rock and Muskogee, Oklahoma combined in their games against Rogers in the first 2 games of this season. So the Sheridan offense certainly moving the ball well. We had a little bit of movement on that offensive line, it looks like, for Sheridan, and I think they're going to mark this off 5 yards against the Yellowjackets.
Nope. The classic getting the defense to jump off sides on an extra point attempt. I've never seen anything like it in all of my football watching years, like Sheridan does to anyone that it plays. I don't know what they say down there. I don't know if they say I double dog dare you, but the defense cannot help themselves.
I made an assumption, and I should not have. All right, Yellowjackets going for it. The give to Isaiah Stevens, and he is hit by a host of Rogers Mounties, and so the Yellowjackets will fail on that two-point conversion attempt. So with 6 minutes, 48 seconds left to play in this McCoy Tigert Pharmacy first quarter, it's Sheridan 14, Rogers 14. Let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back right after this.
Here at Reliance Bank, our name says it all. Rely on us. We proudly celebrate that our Kansans have done that for 60 years. To provide personalized service, a face-to-face human connection with convenient and secure technology. Rely on us to be with you in the community, continuing to make Arkansas a great place to live and do business. Reliance Bank. Visit us today.
We're back again in Rogers, Andy Mayberry, Dakota Hedden, and boy, we've got a shootout so far. I mean, we're less than halfway through the first quarter, and it's a tie ball game at 14-all. Sheridan with the onside kick again. And I think they got it. I think Sheridan may have fallen. No. Let's wait and see. Officials are discussing it. There was a Sheridan player right there all over the football.
Andy, it looked to me like the football accidentally hit one of our players before it went 10 yards. I do not see any yellow on the field. However, that's what I noticed. Took a little bit of a ricochet.
Yes.
There you go. So, yeah, illegal touching on the kicking team. Going to be first down for Rogers at approximately the Sheridan 48-yard line.
We've seen a couple of different kickers in the ballgame so far for Sheridan, both Andrew Mitchell that time and before him Cam Martin attempting those onside kicks. Rogers has it. This is familiar territory for them. That's where they've started every drive at the 48-yard line of Sheridan. Throws over the middle, complete, 25-yard line, close to the 20, and the Mounties on the move. Again, Cooper Daniel with the reception.
Yeah, another short field to start with for Rogers. The quarterback kind of second guessed that he was going to throw that pass. Didn't cause any problems. Big play for them on first down. Now quarterback draw right up the middle.
Still on his feet down at the 5-yard line, and he's pretty shifty, the senior quarterback Jeff Regan. So it'll be first and goal at the 5. They stacked 4 receivers on that wide side of the field, and that was a called quarterback keeper the whole way.
Mm-hmm. So similar to what Coach Kelly tries to create with spacing, where you put a lot of receivers in the game and you try to see how many people are in the box, and then you decide if you're going to run or pass. That was definitely a run situation the whole way.
Regan has plenty of time, lots of time. Now being pressured, rolls to his right, looks to the end zone, throws to the back of the end zone, and incomplete. Parker Nix was in the area, but a very wise play by a senior quarterback. He threw it where the only person who possibly could get it would be Nix, but it was high and over his head. It brings up second down now and goal at the 5-yard line.
Would have needed Randy Moss in there to catch that one.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sailing through the end zone, live to fight another day. Not sure what that was about. Still holding on the defense.
All right, so instead of second down and goal at the 5, it's going to be first down and goal at about the 2.5-yard line, half the distance to the goal. Regan, he's got Kramer in the backfield along with him. Lofts one to the back of the end zone. Wow. What a catch. Goodness gracious, and that is, we talked about a little bit in the early going, Braxton Lindsay. He is, from what I understand, a BYU commitment, and we just saw why right there. That was a fantastic one-handed catch.
And made it look very easy. And that is not an easy play, and he really made it look easy. Did a good job walling off, kind of boxing out the Sheridan defender. Didn't give his hands away. Didn't put his hands up in the air to alert the defender the ball was coming. Waited till the last second and caught it with one hand. Good play from Rogers. Not much you can do about that.
No, really not. Yellowjackets defended that well and just executed perfectly. The extra point kick is up. It's good. Shapiro connects, and it's 21-14. Rogers on top.
Jackson Delt continues to get really close to these extra point attempts.
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. You know, Jackson Delk is one of those guys. He's a playmaker for Sheridan, so certainly he's going for it anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite things about the Sheridan team and a Coach Kelly coach team in general is that no play is taken for granted. If it's a 1 point extra point attempt, whether they're the ones kicking or defending, they are all out, trying to get the defense to jump off sides or, trying to block an extra point. And so every point in a game like this is precious. And so hopefully we can continue to, respond and score the football.
21-14 with 5 minutes, 48 seconds left to play in the McCoy Tigert Pharmacy first quarter. That's right. If you're just joining us and you see this 21-14 to score, we've still got almost half of the first quarter left to play. So, whoever had the over for tonight, I think you're in good money.
No official total, but probably underestimated whatever it was.
Well, last year Rogers took, I think if I remember correctly, I think it was a 40-0 lead at halftime, and they kind of, so to speak, they called off the dogs. And but so far this game, Rogers with the onside kick, and I believe Sheridan recovered that. It looked like Jackson Delk, who was over there. You just talked about him a moment ago, and he did.
Well, one could say that caught Sheridan off guard, but if they know anything, it's to expect the unexpected, and it's how to, practice and recover onside kicks. So great heads-up play from Jackson.
Well, they see it every day in practice. So Yellowjackets do recover it. So now a shorter field for them. It's the first time tonight that we've seen that. They've typically been starting at their own 22, 23-yard line. So Yellowjackets will start 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line. And Dax, he had some time. He stood there, and he stood there too long, quite frankly.
Actually, that was Easton Barksdale into the game at quarterback.
Oh, you're right. The sophomore quarterback is in. I'm not sure if Dax is hurt or if we're just having a chance to look at Barksdale. I can't.
Yeah, not very unclear. I'm looking at Dax on the sideline. He's standing there with his helmet on, watching. And, Barksdale's still in the game, about to take a snap again.
Interesting. So, Barksdale, the quarterback, and he's going to hit Zay out of the backfield. He crosses midfield. He's still going. He's on his feet. He's at the 30. One man to beat. Cannot do it. Goes out of bounds at around the 25-yard line. But get Zay Stevens the football in some open space, and, boy, you're in for some trouble.
Just look out. Great little halfback swing pass. Another great job from our receivers blocking downfield, creating space for the lightning-quick running back to run. Huge play.
All right. It's Barksdale and Stevens in the backfield. Fakes the handoff to Zay, and now he goes down hard. He was slung down. And we talked about him on offense. Now here's a look at him on defense, Braxton Lindsay. And that guy's a beast.
He's a man among boys out there. Really showed it on that play. Got his hands on him, and there was no getting away.
He didn't just tackle him. He literally slung him down. 2nd down and about 18 yards to go to pick up the first. The ball spotted back at the 35-yard line of Sheridan. Play clock inside the 10-second mark, now at about 7-6. Yellowjackets are going to have to hurry to get this one off. 3, 2, 1, and I'm not sure if they got a timeout or not. No, I don't think so. It's going to be a delay of game penalty called against the Yellowjackets, so they'll mark off another 5 yards. And you could kind of see that was all just very slow developing, getting the play in and getting lined up.
Yeah, can't have that. Can't have that. Got to have eyes on the play clock. It's running down. It looked like Barksdale was aware of it, but didn't call the timeout himself. Lost 5 yards.
All right. 2nd and 23 at the 40. Barksdale. He's got a guy and complete at about the 30-yard line. That's Hunter Socha with the reception for Sheridan.
Yeah, first Hunter Socia appearance of the night. Slant route coming across the middle of the field. Good job from Hunter, hitting him in the hands and stride. Got a lot of the yards back, still 3rd and 14, but knowing the Yellowjackets, they've got 2 plays to get 14 yards here.
Yeah, and with a Kevin Kelly team, that's the case, that this is 2 plays. If it's 4th down, that's fine. We're still going for it. So 3rd and 14, Yellowjackets have it on their own 31-yard line. 3:36 left to play in the opening quarter. Barksdale scrambles. Almost complete. He had a guy, Dylan Smith, at about the 23-yard line, and Dylan tried to tuck it in and just couldn't hang on to the ball.
Little bit of a knuckleball. Barksdale he felt the pressure coming. I mean, it was closing in on him. He did a good job, trying to stay calm in the pocket, surveying the field. Got the ball out. Only his receiver could have caught it. So good attempt from him. Need to come up with that next time, but got 4th and 14.
Big 4th down here for the Yellowjackets. Last time they had a big 4th down, they had the big play deep into Rogers territory. 4th and 14. It's complete. It's going to be short of the first down. I didn't pick up the receiver, but I saw who made the hit.
That was Dylan Smith on a very tough reception. I mean, very tough reception. Held on to it. Got lit up.
Yeah, that was Braxton Lindsay, the guy that we've talked about several times tonight, and he just clobbered Dylan Smith over there.
The only positive here, you hate to have some, kind of mental mistakes and, lose 5 yards unnecessarily. That same 5 yards, you've got a first down. However, this is going to be the worst starting field position of the night for Rogers on their own 25.
Easily. They've typically been starting just inside Sheridan territory. And the quarterback Regan was trying to hit Draken Volk on the sideline over there, but that ball was well overthrown, and it goes incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Volk is definitely one of their favorite targets and playmakers. We saw that on the very first drive, long post, and then end around for a touchdown. Not surprised to see them trying to continue to get him the ball.
Surprised we haven't seen Titus Kramer with the football in his hands. Our running back there, their top running back, but
here.
They've just been throwing the football.
Kind of a wildcat
quarterback keeper. He
here.
Crosses the 30, the 35-yard line. Actually, you're right. That was Kramer with the ball. Direct snap.
Direct snap to Kramer. They split the quarterback out into the slot. Kind of a wildcat formation, and really good positive yards for Rogers on that play. Probably caught Sheridan a little bit off guard.
So just as I said, I can't believe we haven't seen Kramer carry the ball.
Classic.
Straight to him. All right, 1st down and 10 for Rogers at their own 40-yard line. Regan looks to throw. Over the middle, he's got a guy at the 40, 35, 30, 20.
Big tackle.
Cooper Daniel.
From Marquise Thorne. Really bodied him up and put him on the ground. Number 6 had a lot of wide open space, and that did not scare Marquise at all. He was ready for him.
Boy, Rogers has just been airing it out left and right here and over the middle.
On a Sheridan Yellowjacket secondary that, has really shown an ability to cover the pass.
Yeah. It's been impressive. 1st down and 10 for the Mounties at the 16-yard line of Sheridan. Rogers on top, 21-14, 2:08, clock rolling, left to play in the first quarter. Regan, quarterback keeper, crosses the 15 down to about the 13-yard line.
Yeah, Regan spinning a couple times. As the kids would say, that's putting the defender in a blender. Yellowjackets stayed on him, though, didn't let him get loose. Able to, make that just a short gain, what looked like could have been a much larger gain.
2nd and 7 for Rogers. 1:30 left to play in the quarter. Regan throws or rolls to his right. Now he's going to keep it. Crosses the 10-5, touchdown. Jeff Regan, the senior quarterback for Rogers, on the 13-yard keeper, and that's going to put the Mounties on top 27-14 with a pending extra point.
Yeah, he was running the whole way, never really considering passing. Made several defenders miss. Very, very athletic play from the Rogers quarterback.
So what had been a back and forth game, and now the Rogers Mounties go up 2 scores now on the Yellowjackets, looking to tack on the extra point.
Keep an eye on Jackson Delk here, number 33.
Chaparro's kick is up, and it's good. So with 1:23 left to play in the McCoy Tigert Pharmacy first quarter, it's Rogers 14, Rogers 28, Sheridan 14. Let's take a 30-second timeout and be back after this. All right, 28-14, Rogers Mounties on top of your Sheridan Yellowjackets. 1:23 left to play in this first quarter. And Dakota, it feels like we've already played a half of football.
It feels like it, but according to that scoreboard, we're still in the first quarter.
A lot of scoring. The majority of it at this point by the Rogers Mounties, but a couple of really good offensive possessions by Sheridan. That kick is going to go out of bounds, so that's going to be a penalty against
You know,
the
we've
Mounties.
made some mistakes, and Rogers has been very quick to take advantage of those. This is one of the first mistakes that they've made, and so now it's time for us to make them pay for it. Curious to see which quarterback's going to be running onto the field. Dax is over there talking to Coach K. Looks like he's coming back in for this series.
Yeah, so curious as to what we saw earlier with Barksdale coming in and Dax sitting out that last series. You don't know if there was an injury or if they just wanted to give Dax an opportunity to maybe look at it from the sideline, a little different perspective for an offensive series. But Barksdale certainly a talented sophomore quarterback, and we're going to have a bright future under his leadership in the future. But Dax back in the ball game, fakes the pitch to Zay. Now it's going to throw back on the other side of the field, complete.
Man.
And it's going to be a lost yardage on the play.
Good play from number 47, Gerardo Guzman from Rogers. He was not distracted by the eye candy that was going on, stayed really disciplined, and was ready to set the edge on his side of the field. So credit to him for that.
Yeah, they were trying to get that misdirection going with Zay heading to one side of the field in the fake pitch and then throw back. But as you mentioned, Rogers not fooled. So it's going to be a loss of 5 on the play. Brings up second down, 15 yards to go. The gift to Zay. He's hitting the backfield. He's going down. Yeah, boy.
Rogers is really flashing on the first 2 plays of this drive. Number 94, Julian Arios running through the line to make a tackle in the backfield. The numbers game looked really good for a run there. I mean, he single-handedly just blew the play up.
Yeah, loss of 3 on the play. Third down and 18. Dax, a little pitch out to the right side.
There's 47 again.
Yeah. Goes back down. The short gain by Walker Shields is going to bring up 4th down at about the 27-yard line of Sheridan, 28. And it's 4th and 17, and that'll be the end of the McCoy Tigert Pharmacy first quarter. Rogers on top of Sheridan by a score of 28-14. Let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back after this.
Banking is a lot like football. You need a solid game plan to reach your goals. Every yard matters, and every decision can move you closer to the end zone. Just like a great team relies on trust and protection, your finances need the same. From managing your everyday money to saving for the future to making the big plays when opportunity comes, success takes preparation, teamwork, and smart moves. Because both in banking and football, It's not about how you start the drive. It's about finishing strong in the end zone.
Rogers Mounties 28, Yellowjackets 14 into the first quarter. Andy, what are your thoughts on Sheridan's performance on offense and defense in that first quarter?
Yeah, well, those first couple of offensive drives, the first offensive drive was, spectacular. I mean, that was executed perfectly. Second offensive drive, quite frankly, we got a little lucky on one of the plays that turned into a big play for us. Defense, they've given up 28 points, but my goodness, this Rogers offense is just, they're big, they're fast, they execute very well. Sometimes your hands are just really full.
Well said. Fourth and long here. Sheridan's still out on the field.
Little hook and lateral. Zay's got it across midfield. The 35, the 30, still on his feet. He's going to score.
See ya.
Touchdown, Sheridan.
Wow, what a turn of events. I mean, just when you're questioning, what are we doing? That's what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Give it to Zay. Get him a little running room.
Wow. Big swing of momentum. If you don't convert that, the reward is that. The risk is you don't go anywhere and Rogers got, about 20 yards into the end zone, and then you're talking about a 3-score game. But just in the snap of a finger, in the blink of an eye, there goes Zay Stevens down the field. Rogers realized what was happening in the middle of the play, but it was too late to catch up with a blazing Zay Stevens down the sideline.
Well, when you see Dylan Smith and a rare extra point attempt, kicked extra point for Sheridan, and Adam Mitchell converts on it. So the Yellowjackets cut it to 28-21. We'll keep it right here for right now. So when you saw Dylan Smith make that reception and start running back a couple of steps, you saw what was happening, and it was too late if you're a Roger Mountie.
Sheridan has run that play a handful of times under Coach Kelly between last year and this year, and every time it goes for a lot of yards.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you realize it's happening during the middle of the play. If you surrender the sideline to Zay, he's gone. And then was able to make 2 defenders miss down the field. So just an incredible turn of events and swing in momentum. Takes a lot of air out of the Mounties, who had all the momentum at the moment and had for the last several drives. And now Sheridan is in position to kick an onside kick and possibly get the ball back.
Absolutely. So we've seen Sheridan now a couple of times go for 4th down, and no other team does this.
Nobody does
deep,
this.
Inside their own 25, 30-yard line.
Big bounce.
Onside kick, great bounce. Looked like a Mountie was right there to make a reception on it, but no other team does that. Nobody goes for it on 4th down deep in their own territory in the first quarter. But Sheridan, that's just what they practice. That's what they do. I was in the locker room not the locker room, but in the room when Kevin Kelly first met with his Sheridan Yellowjacket players, when he first came to Sheridan. And he went through a list of things and said, hey, when we do this, who's got a problem with it? Who's got a problem with this? And he said, is anybody here going to have a problem with it when we go for it on 4th down on our own 10-yard line? And so, these Yellowjackets have bought into that system, and we see it starting to pay dividends.
Well, Andy, the thing about the law of averages is that if you selectively do what we just did, it's hard for the averages to shake out. But if you do it every single time, the averages have a chance to work in your favor.
Same thing with the onside kicks.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. About 4 yards on the pickup is going to bring up 2nd down and 6 now for Rogers, right at the 50-yard line. Mounties on top, 28-21 in the early going of this People's Bank second quarter. Throw over the middle, and it's complete inside the 40-yard line. Again, that's Braxton Lindsay. We've called his name several times tonight on both offense and defense.
A very talented player, is going to impact the game significantly on offense and defense. You've seen the big defensive plays, the hard hits. You've seen the one-handed catch for a touchdown, and you see it again there. Definitely a player that is going to impact the game on both sides of the football.
Mounties have it at the 36-yard line of Sheridan. Regan rolls to his left, throws to the end zone, incomplete. A flag goes down.
The ball was uncatchable.
They're going to call that against Marquise Thorne, but it did look to be an uncatchable pass from here.
The ball fell close to the pavement in the back of the end zone.
Which would make it uncatchable, right?
Would make it, some would call that uncatchable. So hate to see that. Really, good effort from Marquise there. When we talk about penalties, Andy, there are mental penalties where you have an offside or a false start. But, a pass interference, a holding, plays like that, those are just football plays. And sometimes it's going to go your way and sometimes it's not. But it's in the course of going 100 miles an hour and just trying to exert a lot of effort. So not going to fault him too much there.
1st and 10 for the Mounties at the 25-yard line. Run up the middle, a gain of about 6 on the play.
Yeah, rare, just normal, straight, run attempt from Rogers there. They've really emphasized throwing the ball all over the field as well as, a lot of quarterback runs, but have really only handed the ball off to a halfback a couple times.
2nd down, 5 yards to go. The ball on the 21 of Sheridan now. Clock rolling 10-10 left in the quarter. Throw and catch, except it wasn't a catch. It was a dropped pass. Titus Kramer had it in his hands and just couldn't hang on to it.
Well, going to bring up a 3rd down. It's been a while since Rogers has had a 3rd down.
Have they? I'm not sure if they've had one.
Don't fact check me. Where's Braden Seitz? That's our fact check guy.
Exactly. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, 3rd down and 5. Mounties, if it's not the first 3rd down, it's one of few tonight. Regan lost to the end zone. This time overthrows the receiver, Parker Nix. And so a 4th down, and I know that's the first that we've seen of those tonight.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say it. There was a lot more pass interference on that play than there was the one that the flag came out. So maybe back to law of averages and return to the mean, but I feel like the wrong has maybe been righted.
All right, 4th down and 5, and anxious to see what the Mounties have here. It looks like they are going to go for it. Jeff Regan, the quarterback. And Sheridan with a little pressure now. He's being forced out. He scrambles. He has the 1st down. He's at the 5-yard line, still on his feet, trying to make it to the goal line, and goes down at about the 1. So it's going to set up a 1st down and goal for Rogers.
Loss contained. Quarterback was able to get to the outside, and then chaos ensues. Lucky he didn't get all the way into the end zone there.
Yeah, you got to hand it to Regan. He's got a good arm, but he's also very capable of scrambling and picking up good yardage.
He's pretty shifty.
Yeah,
looks like we got a Wildcat package here.
Yeah, they've got Kramer in, and the give's going to go up the middle and a touchdown. That's number 22 with the carry, Xander Burke, 6'1", 220-pound running back for the Mounties. And so they go back up by 2 scores here.
Well, I do think it's positive that, we were able to force a 4th down and, really have a good showing on defense on that possession. We've seen Rogers' defense kind of settle in against the Yellowjackets. And I think maybe we're seeing that a little bit with the Yellowjackets as well, getting a better feel for what the Mounties are trying to do. So they had to earn that score a lot more than the others.
Shapiro, his kick is up, and it's good. And so with 9 minutes, 20 seconds left to play in this People's Bank 2nd quarter, it's Rogers 35, Sheridan 21. Let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back after this. We're back. We're back at Rogers Mounties Stadium. Andy Mayberry and Dakota Hedden, and boy, just a shootout in the making here. 35-21, Rogers on top, and we've still got 9 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in this first half, Dakota.
You know, Andy, what's been very encouraging, seeing a first-year Coach Kelly Yellow Jacket team last year, and they're showing against Rogers at home versus the task of going against this team on the road and scoring a lot of points so far in the first half. It's been very positive and encouraging, as the season goes on, to see how well we've been able to move the ball on offense against a very good 7A Rogers team.
And what you've got to be impressed with is Sheridan came in here, Rogers pretty much dominated last year's game. Sheridan could have come up here and played scared. You walk into these facilities, it looks like a Division II college. They're brand new, fantastic facilities, big, fast team. But Sheridan has not played scared at all. And, they've dealt punch for punch here against the Rogers Mounties. First down and 10 for Sheridan at their own 18-yard line. Dax throws complete out of the backfield. Dylan Smith, and he's going to be dropped for actually a loss of a couple on the play back to around the 16-yard line.
Andy, the subtle things matter so much when you're playing, a very difficult opponent in Rogers. That ball forced Dylan Smith to stop his forward momentum and then restart, which allowed Rogers to have more time to cut him off at the sideline.
Zay, up the middle, has a little bit of a hole and gets out near the 25-yard line, about 3 yards short of the first down, so it'll bring up 3rd and 3.
Really good run from Zay there. Showed some patience and a lot of toughness, keeping those legs churning. The yards after contact are huge, and that was a great run from him to set up a 3rd and short.
3rd and 3, and for one of few times tonight, the clock is actually rolling. 8:20 left to play in the second quarter, and Zay in a bit of a wildcat. He gets the direct snap, the pitch on the reverse. Walker shields, and
just got back to the line of scrimmage is what it looks like.
No gain on that play. They're going to say he went down right at the 25-yard line. It brings up 4th down and 3 yards to go for the first. Yellow Jackets are going to go for it.
In a lot of situations when the running back, goes to take a direct snap, the quarterback's still on the field, maybe lined up as a receiver, but Dax was entirely off the field on that play.
Dax fakes the handoff to Zay, throws, and it's going to go incomplete. Jaden Green, the intended receiver, at the 30-yard line, and so Sheridan is going to turn it over on downs.
Dax had to throw just a split second before he was ready, but still made a really good throw on the run under duress. A lot of credit to A.J. Francisco for just a tough pass breakup. Got his hand in there at the right time. Unfortunate for the Yellow Jackets, but you're under pressure. You're on the run. You got to get the ball out quick, and just good play from Rogers being where they needed to be.
On the 2 previous times when Sheridan went for it that deep in their own territory, they were able to pull off the 4th down conversions. This time, not quite so fortunate. So Rogers is going to start with some fantastic field position at the Sheridan 25-yard line. 1st down and 10 for the Mounties.
They've cut their average starting field position in half. Normally with 50 yards to go, now they've got 25 yards to go.
Regan throws to the end zone. He's got a man down there, complete. Touchdown, Rogers, Parker Nix.
Very athletic play from Parker. The quarterback put the right amount of air under the football, gave his receiver a chance to run underneath it, and the ball was out of his hands before we even realized it had been thrown. And really well-executed play from Rogers. Incredibly difficult pass to defend if you're on an island out there like Lawson is.
Yeah, a lot of Rogers plays are timing patterns. The quarterback just throws it to a particular spot on the field and waits for the receiver to run under it. And in that case was executed beautifully. Shapiro on to attempt the extra point for Rogers, and his kick is good once again. So 42-21 now, and the Rogers Mounties extend their lead by 3 touchdowns. 7 minutes, 31 seconds left to play in the People's Bank second quarter. Let's take a 30-second break, or actually, let's just keep it right here for right now.
Well, Andy, I feel like, 30 seconds have gone by, and, we go from the hook and ladder play to, cut the lead to 7, and, now Rogers has doubled our score. And so, I mean, the pace at which this game is moving from a momentum swing, from a scoring standpoint, it is rapid.
Yeah, so we've got 63 points on the board right now, and still over 7.5 minutes left to play in this first half. At some point in time, these defenses, they've got to be so very winded as the offenses are just marching up and down the field.
The offenses have not been on the field for very long. Really, respectively for each team, it feels like the defense, it just continues to have to defend. And whenever you have a 3 and out or a 4 and out, your defense can get real winded when those stack up.
All right, so the Yellowjackets set to receive as J.P. Black and I think Dylan Smith are back deep at about their own 5-yard line. High, end over end. Good kick is going to be taken by Black at the 9-yard line. Crosses the 15 and knocked out of bounds just short of the 20-yard line at around the 19. And
Rogers does a good job on these kickoffs, strategically, landing the football along the sideline. It's not going out of bounds, but it's very close to the sideline, sets up a very difficult return for the return team in an awkward spacing area. And so they've continued to do that. That's definitely a strategy that they've employed.
Yep. Yellowjackets 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line, trailing 42-21 to the Rogers Mounties.
Braxton back in the game at quarterback.
The give to Zay, and he crosses the 20.
I said Braxton Easton back in the game.
Right, Barksdale.
You know what I meant.
I knew exactly what you meant. And I'm sure our listeners did as well.
Of course.
Barksdale back in the game. Gave to Zay on that. Pickup of a couple. Brings up 2nd and 10. Stevens again. Changes direction. Crosses the 30. And that was just great vision by Isaiah Stevens. He was originally going to try the left side of that line. Saw there was nothing there and just changed direction and was able to pick up good yardage out to about the 33.
Continued to cut back out to the right. Receivers did a good job blocking, allowing for that to take place. Almost got all the way to the sideline. And you know what happens when he gets to the sideline.
Stacked receivers to the right and the left. Stevens in the backfield. Barksdale rolls to his left. Throws, and almost a fantastic reception. And we see a flag come down. I think that's a well-deserved one. Walker Shields was the intended receiver, and he was hit a little early, and the official saw it.
Did a good job trying to come back to the ball, but got a little bit of help from number 10 with Rogers and coming back to the ball. A little push in the back. And so good call from the referee. Going to move the ball forward, bring up a first down.
Good pickup. Let me try that one more time. Good pickup for the Yellowjackets out to their own 48-yard line. First down and 10. The clock
really
is stopped.
Need to respond here.
Yeah, clock is stopped with 6:54. Yellowjackets send 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. Stevens goes in motion. Little slow, lazy snap, and the whistles blow.
Second time.
Penalty against the Yellowjackets.
Oh, well, it said snap infraction, it was not play clock related. A little bit of a reason for the awkward, slow snap, I guess.
Right. So that makes it 1st and 15 for the Yellowjackets, back at their own 43-yard line now. 6:54, as I mentioned, left to play in this first half. 42-21, Rogers on top. Jackets send 4 receivers to the wide side, 1 to the short side, and another flag goes down. Looks like a delay of game. Play clock had hit 0 And, Kevin Kelly does not like that.
These are the mental mistakes that we're talking about, the ones that are unacceptable. The pass interference, a holding, blocking the back, those plays are in the course of action, not pre-snap penalties.
Barksdale throws over the middle, complete at the 35-yard line. There's a flag down in the Sheridan backfield, and I think this one might come back.
Barksdale did a good job stepping up in the pocket when the pressure came.
Yeah, they called a holding against Sheridan, and so that's going to be another 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Third penalty in a row.
Yeah, this is first and a really long way. Let's see, 28 yards to go for the first down, something in that neighborhood. Yeah, first down and 28, we'll call it. And if somebody else out there can do better math than me, then we'll call it that. First and 28 for the Yellowjackets at their own 28-yard line. Barksdale, a little bit behind Jaden Green, but one he definitely should have hung on to at around the 41-yard line. Brings up second down now.
Penalties are momentum killers, and when you have 3 in a row, it really sucks the life, out of your team. And you see that, on a play like that where you get both hands of the football, don't come up with it.
Yeah, second down and 30 from the 28-yard line. Barksdale now being pressured and wisely just throws it at the feet of Zay Stevens to avoid the sack, but it's going to be third down and 30 now.
Have really been pretty crisp on offense all night, but this possession has been anything but.
It has had its share of miscues. Stacked receivers to the left and the right. Barksdale rolls to the left. Complete.
Barksdale delivered a strike to number 1.
That's Walker Shields.
Walker Shields running the flag route on the sideline. They rolled him to the left, and he got absolutely pummeled by number 94 for Rogers, Julian Arios.
Picked up about half of that, though, and so it's going to bring up fourth down and about 15 yards to go. They'll say fourth and 16 to pick up the first down yardage. The first down marker is on the 42-yard line of Rogers, so Jackets need about 16. Barksdale and another whistles again.
Timeout this time.
Timeout for the Yellowjackets. Let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with more Yellowjackets football after this.
So I was born and raised in Sheridan. I graduated a Yellowjacket and went to law school at the University of Arkansas up at Fayetteville. In the legal field, you're helping your neighbors. You're serving those that are around you, and I wanted to feel good and like that I was making a difference and doing it for people that just were kind and good people. And so that's what I found here in Sheridan. So it makes my job easy and enjoyable.
We're back again at Rogers Mounties Stadium. Andy Mayberry and Dakota Hedden. 42-21. Rogers on top of Sheridan right now. 6 minutes, 13 seconds left to play in this People's Bank second quarter. We again would like to thank our stream presenting sponsors, First Trust Home Loans and Roof Connect. And Dakota, big fourth down right here. We've said it a few times tonight, but Yellowjackets really could use this one.
Could really use it. The last time we converted one was not this dysfunctional before, but a series where we ran 3 plays and went nowhere. Rogers had great plays back to back and were able to convert. We'll see what we do here. A lot of pressure coming out of the gate. A ball going deep down the field.
JP Black. JP Black at the 10, the 5, touchdown Sheridan. Wow.
Who cares if we don't go anywhere? We just got to work it till we get to the fourth down and then take a shot. That's the winning formula. Unbelievable
And
play.
I got to say, that was a beautiful pass by Barksdale. That was right on the money. J.P. Black with the concentration to hang on to the football, break a tackle right at the spot of the reception, and then take it on in from the rest of the way from there.
Barksdale with all kinds of heat in his face. Multiple Rogers defenders headed his way at 100 miles an hour, stood in there and delivered a strike down the field. Very impressive play from the sophomore.
So, not sure what that call was. Dakota, did you happen to
Oh, you know what it was.
Oh, this is against Sheridan.
Mm.
Yeah, illegal shift is
Not
what
this
they
time.
called. Yeah, illegal shift against the Yellowjackets.
We got ourselves.
Yeah. So the Yellowjackets are going to, or at least they appear as though they're going to kick for the extra point. Adam Mitchell hurries onto the field. Eason Barksdale is the holder for Sheridan. And, there was a hesitation there. Didn't appear to be a clean hold. A little bit of a high snap. Barksdale couldn't quite get it down in time. Adam Mitchell kind of stutter-stepped going toward it, and then good penetration from Rogers, and they come up with the block there. So Yellowjackets failed to convert on that extra point attempt, and so it'll leave the score 42-27. Rogers on top. Still 6:04 left to play in this People's Bank second quarter.
Well, able to respond with an incredible throw from the sophomore to J.P. Black. J.P. has flashed tonight, made several big plays for us. A couple of touchdowns for J.P. now, and both very long plays down the field. One, a tip pass in the first quarter, and then here in the second, a heave on fourth down. Incredible plays from JP. Got an onside kick coming. Big bounce.
That was Cam Martin
goes out of
kicking off
bounds.
that time and goes out of bounds. I want to apologize to Andrew Mitchell. I kept calling him by his father's name, Adam. It is not Adam Mitchell kicking, but his son, Andrew.
Maybe he learned it from Adam.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. That's what happens when you get to be old and you know all of the moms and dads. But anyway. All right. So Rogers will take over 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. Mounties on top, 42-27. 6:03 left to play in this People's Bank second quarter.
Need to come up with a stop here.
Jeff Regan, the quarterback for Rogers. This Mounties offense been hard to stop so far. Complete pass across the 50-yard line. The receiver still on his feet, crosses the 40, down to the Sheridan 35-yard line. Draken Volk, we've called his name multiple times tonight. Jackson Delk with the stop, but not after a big pickup for Rogers.
Very shifty and tough running, putting the hand in the ground to stay up. Another big play from the receiver.
Regan over the middle. That's his guy. That's Braxton Lindsay down to the 20-yard line, first down yardage.
Hey, really tough tackle from Braden Lewis there. Braxton attempted a grown man stiff arm, and Braden fought through it and was able to bring him down on the spot. So really tough tackle from Braden.
3 receivers to the wide side of the field for the Mounties. First down and 10 at the Yellowjacket 19-yard line. Plenty of time. Now Regan's going to tuck and run. Crosses the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Rogers.
Another shifty run from the Rogers quarterback, slicing through the defense. would like to see us maybe try to put a spy on him. He's incredibly difficult to keep in the pocket.
Yeah, very mobile quarterback, good arm. I'm not sure what colleges may be looking at him, but I'm sure he's got several lined up here. He's shown good accuracy. He's got good strength with his arm, but certainly the ability to scramble and to pick up good yardage. He's done it on a number of occasions tonight. Several called quarterback keepers, but then anytime that he's been pressured, he's been able to pick up good yardage. Shapiro's kick is up, and it's good, and so Rogers extends their lead. It's the Mounties 49, the Yellowjackets 27, 5:06 left to play in the first half. Let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back after this.
Andy, you mentioned college is looking at Jeff Reagan, and I'm pretty sure, according to fact check Braden Seitz over here, he is committed to Air Force.
Air Force it is. Because Braden does know everything. He's the fact. No, we're not stopping it. It's true. Braden, he's the bearer of all knowledge.
If you watch the Joe Rogan podcast, he's always looking over to Jamie for facts and correctness, and that's exactly what myself, Andy, and Jeremy do in the booth.
Yep.
If we're uncertain, we just point at Braden, and he's got the answer.
Braden Seitz is the man. All right.
He's blushing.
Mounties kickoff. It's a good one. It's going to be taken by Black inside the 5-yard line, gets out over the 15 and goes out of bounds on the Rogers sideline.
Into the kicking warm-up tent.
Into the netting over there. And he made it out to the 20-yard line, and so that's where the Yellowjackets will start, 1st and 10. 5:02 left to play in the opening half. 49-27. You heard that right. In the first half, Rogers on top of Sheridan.
The revolving quarterback continues to play out. Dak's running back onto the field for this possession.
This appears to be something that's scripted, that Kevin Kelly has thought through in alternating quarterbacks for some series here. Dax McMillan, the quarterback. And he throws complete. Walker Shields crosses the 30-yard line. It looks like he picked up a Stockton Power Equipment first down.
Good play from Dax, looking down the field, a little bit of a pump fake, get the defense to turn their eyes and look deep, and then hitting kind of an underneath wheel route of sorts to Walker Shields. He finishes the run, putting the shoulder into the defender on the sideline.
1st and 10 for the Yellowjackets at their own 32. The give to Zay. And he's hitting the backfield, escapes one tackle, and then hit hard after a pickup of 3 or 4. We've called his name all night, Braxton Lindsay. And we've got a Yellowjacket who's down. I haven't picked up a number.
It's number 76. That is Brian Bowman.
So Bowman is on the field. Let's take a 1-minute break, and we'll be back to Rogers after this. All right, we're back at Rogers Mounties Stadium, and the good news is that Brian Bowman is up on his feet. The bad news is that he's walking very gingerly, being helped off, but an injured Yellow Jacket. We've had a number of injuries this year, some key players. Eli Turner's out, Wiley DePriest is out, and so this would be a big loss again. Certainly we hope the best for Brian Bowman, and that it's nothing too serious, and that perhaps be back later today, but if not, we'll have a bye week this coming week, so maybe we can get a few injured folks back on the field.
The bye week is coming at a good time. Give some guys a chance to get healthy ahead of conference play. Those are the games that matter the most, and so hopefully we can get several guys back.
All right, second down and about 7 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets to pick up the first down marker at the 42-yard line of Sheridan. Dax looks to throw, and I don't know if he was trying to hit Dylan Smith or Hunter Sosha. It kind of went in between the two of them, but it goes incomplete, 3rd and 7.
Yeah, 2 receivers in the area. Wonder if maybe there was a little bit of miscommunication. Sometimes when you're running a stop route, you might turn in or turn immediately out. Quarterback might have been anticipating, a different turn, but thankfully ball went incomplete.
Yellow Jackets send 4 receivers to the short side of the field. Zay Stevens wide to the right. The throw to Stevens is going to be a little high. He got his hands on it, but it sailed over his head and goes incomplete. 4th down and 7. And the Yellow Jackets will be looking at another crucial 4th down in their own territory at the 35-yard line.
Looked like they were trying to just run a simple, kind of stick route with Zay, where he's going to run up the field, push vertical, and then immediately stop and come slightly back to the football. Again, ball a little bit high.
4th and 7. Play clock at about 10. Dax takes the snap. It's intercepted, and Lindsey's going to go all the way, a pick 6. Number 14, Braxton Lindsey. We have called his name all night long, and he was right there in the path of that pass. Great hands and good speed, and Lindsey just takes it in for the score. And so Rogers extends their lead to 55-27.
Andy, to break down what we just saw, what teams tend to do whenever we come out in quads and we have Zay isolated at the top of the field, bottom of the field, whatever side he's on, they tend to shade him where he's not just one-on-one. There's a player that's just inside of Zay, looks like a linebacker, but he is going to go out in coverage towards where Zay is. And on that particular play, Dax started off looking to the quad side of the field, looking right, designing and knowing that he's coming back to Zay immediately on the left. While Dax is looking right, Braxton had moved out and had gone from shading to full-blown coverage, and Dax turns to immediately throw. Never saw Braxton move. He was ready and in well positioned. It was good design from Rogers, and they capitalized on the play. But we never saw him. Didn't have the chance to. Whenever you look right and know before the play starts, you're immediately going back left.
Right. All right. So Rogers, Shapiro's kick was good. So the Mounties are up 56-27 now over Sheridan, and Yellow Jackets really need a score here, Dakota, to stay in this ball game. You're up. You got a 29-point lead right now as we're getting closer to the end of the first half. 4:20 left to play. That's enough time for 3 or 4 touchdowns in this ball game.
Oh, easily. Yeah, need to respond here. Got to forget about what just happened. It's likely that we're going to see the sophomore on this series, Easton Barksdale, coming back onto the field is going to be my guess.
So Black takes the kickoff and goes out of bounds at the 11. So not very good field position to start this drive for Sheridan. Haven't yet seen whether it's Dax or Barksdale. I believe it is. I think it is Barksdale. No.
We've got 10 players on the field, looking over to the sideline for, which quarterback is going to
Yeah.
run on. Here comes Easton.
Yeah. Easton Barksdale.
Got 15 seconds on the play clock. Going to have to move.
Play clock down at 10. 8, 7. Barksdale high snap, handles it nicely, gives to Stevens, and he's slammed down in the backfield again. Big loss on the play.
Yeah, number 94, Julian Arios, again busting through the line and blowing up the play in the backfield. That's the third time he's done that tonight.
And when Arios, when he tackles a guy in the backfield, he just slings them. He slams guys down. Second down and about 14, close to 15 yards to go for the first down for Sheridan. Clock rolling, 3:45 left to play in the first half. Barksdale has Dylan Smith and Zay Stevens beside him in the backfield. Smith goes in motion. Barksdale pumps, now throws deep, and the closest guy there was a Rogers Mountie at about the 50-yard line. He was trying to hit Jaden Green, but excellent coverage by Rogers.
Yeah, good arm from Easton there. Really got a lot of air under the ball, and just fell incomplete on that play. But nobody had a chance at catching that one other than his receiver.
3rd and 14. Stacked receivers to the left side of the field. Barksdale rolls that way. Throws incomplete. Dylan Smith, the intended receiver, at about the 31. It would have been good for a first down. A little bit, it was a tough catch, but one that could have been caught.
Yeah, ball high and kind of behind the receiver, and then number 10, Zeke Parsons for Rogers in coverage, ready to break up the pass. Going to be a very tough one to haul in, but as a receiver, if you get both hands on the ball, you're expected to come up with it. Unfortunate, and going to bring up 4th and 14.
Yeah. They've got a timeout on the field. We'll keep it here for the moment. Dakota, we've seen both of these teams, high-octane offenses, but especially these Rogers Mounties. I mean, they very few mistakes tonight. They execute so very well, and it's just been a tough task for this Sheridan defense.
An incredible challenge for the defense. I will say, after this game, most other offenses are going to feel a lot easier to defend. This is likely to be the best offense and defense that the Yellowjackets face all year. Not to discredit any of the future or previous opponents. It is much more of a credit to the 7A West nature of the Rogers Mounties, and a lot of talented athletes on the team on both sides of the ball.
Well, this is a team that won 8 ball games last year, playing in the 7A West. You play up in this northwest part of the state, and you're going up against good competition week after week after week. So to put up 8 victories last year is certainly impressive. Yellowjackets, a little quick kick, and it's going to hit at the 38-yard line, takes a Rogers bounce, and Yellowjackets are still letting it roll. I don't know why we're doing that, but it's going to roll dead at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, when the ball is rolling back your direction, you want to stop it as quickly as possible.
We were watching it.
Lost a couple yards
Yeah.
there, but nonetheless, not a very far punt, and Rogers taking over at the 35-yard line, prime scoring position.
I think what Kevin Kelly was thinking there is, certainly teams expect Sheridan to go for it on 4th down, and this would be a position where maybe they didn't have anybody back, and you could get a good roll with it. That was not the case. It was a Rogers bounce, and so the Mounties take over 1st and 10 at the Sheridan 35-yard line. Regan throws, going for a streaking Cooper Daniel on that left sideline, and just overthrew Daniel.
Good looking ball. Only his receiver could have caught it, just a little long.
So 2nd down and 10 now for the Mounties. 3:06 with the clock stopped left in this People's Bank second quarter. Our first half coming near an end. There's a timeout on the field. While they take one, we'll take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with more Yellow Jacket football right after this.
Here at Reliance Bank, our name says it all. Rely on us. We proudly celebrate that our Kansans have done that for 60 years. To provide personalized service, a face-to-face human connection with convenient and secure technology. Rely on us to be with you in the community, continuing to make Arkansas a great place to live and do business. Reliance Bank. Visit us today.
All right, we're back at Mountie Stadium in Rogers, Arkansas, where the Mounties on top, 56-27, 3:06 left to play in this first half. We've got 83 points on the board so far in this first half. It's been a shootout, but unfortunately for Yellow Jacket fans, the Rogers Mounties a little bit more efficient on offense tonight, virtually unstoppable.
Virtually unstoppable. Forced to 1 fourth down in the entire first half. They have executed well throwing and running, primarily from the quarterback, scrambling around in the pocket, looking downfield, number 14, Braxton.
Wow.
Wow.
What a play. Braxton Lindsay hurdling a would-be Sheridan defender at around the 14-yard line, and he's going to be brought down at the 12, it looks like, is where they'll spot the ball. No, they're going to walk it back. We've got a penalty against Rogers, so bring that one back. There were some ineligible players downfield for Rogers.
2 of the Mountie offensive linemen were too far down the field. They were probably anticipating a run from the quarterback as he has scrambled around all night and just got a little bit ahead of themselves. Quarterback kept his eyes downfield, found the receiver. However, it was called back.
Regardless of the outcome of the play, you can't get past the athleticism of Braxton Lindsay that he showed there, hurdling a Sheridan defender.
I'm pulling both hamstrings.
Second and 14. Yellow Jackets have a shot at that one. Oh, goodness.
Great heads-up play from number 40.
Yeah, Copeland Crutchfield got in there, got a hand on that, and it looked for a moment like the Yellow Jackets had a shot at an interception.
Andy, several times this year, I've seen Copeland on quick passes from quarterbacks do a fantastic job just getting his hands up in the air, realizing he's not going to get to the quarterback in time. The next best thing he can do is put his hands up and able to deflect another pass. Definitely leads the team from linebackers and linemen in deflected passes.
Almost a huge play for the Yellow Jackets right there. 3rd down and 14 now. Regan steps up, now scrambles, tosses complete inside the 20-yard line. Again, Volk with the reception. And Lindsay a little slow to get up, but he's back on his feet, and so it's 1st down and 10 for the Mounties at the Sheridan 18-yard line.
Yeah, Reagan scrambling around again, creating chaos, and able to flip the ball down the sideline to a shifty number 2 for a 1st down.
They spotted on the 17 now, so 1st and 10 from there. 2:20 left to play in the first half. Receiver goes in motion for the Mounties. The give straight up the middle. That's Kramer inside the 15 to about the 13.
Wrangled by several Yellow Jackets for a short gain. Done a good job defending the handful of runs that have come up the middle.
I think Jackson dealt the first Yellow Jacket there after a pickup of 4 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 6. Mounties send 4 receivers to the wide side of the field, 1 to the short. Regan to the end zone. It's overthrown. Good coverage out there.
Yeah, incomplete pass, good coverage from Braden Lewis. defending Cooper Daniel for the Mounties. Cooper's had several big plays tonight. Now I'm seeing a flag on the field. It's getting picked up.
Yeah, officials talking it over. It's going to be a penalty against Sheridan. I'm just not sure what it is. A hold. Oh, they're calling. They're
Hold
calling
on
Braden
number
Lewis.
0,
Yeah.
Braden Lewis. Flag looks like either it came in late or, we just didn't see it initially. But, that's a coverage play. That's a football play. He's doing the best he can out there on an island.
Yeah, from this vantage point, it looked like good coverage. Reagan's pass incomplete, looking for Cooper Daniel.
Yeah, I will say, Reagan does a good job getting the ball out of his hands very quickly. He's throwing it, well before the receiver is breaking. And so when the receiver does break, the football is there. Just a little miss on the timing on that play. But good coverage from Braden, way to hang in there.
Yeah.
They're still trying to go after him.
2nd and goal from the 7. Kramer carries inside the 5-yard line to about the 4.
Good play again from the Yellowjacket defense, containing the inside run. Very short gain. Going to bring up a 3rd and goal.
Yeah. Leighton Tarter was there to make the stop for Sheridan. Brings up 3rd and goal now.
Rogers is letting the clock tick as much as possible here.
We hit the 1-minute mark, down to 57 seconds. And pass to the end zone is complete. Touchdown, Rogers. Braxton Lindsay.
Took a few plays off, and as soon as he came back in the game, caught the touchdown to extend the lead. Braxton continues to make plays for the Mounties.
So that puts Rogers up by 35 points, potentially 36, pending the extra point attempt. And Chaparro on the field to kick for Rogers. Snap, the hold, the kick is up and good.
Floats in, had a lot of pressure from number 50, Leighton Tarter, on that play. Really tried to give it a run and put pressure on the extra point.
All right, let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back after this.
Here at Reliance Bank.
Back in Rogers, and the Mounties on top of your Yellowjackets by a score of 63-27 with 54 seconds left to play in this People's Bank second quarter. This first half quarter of play now responsible for 90 points on the football.
You heard that right, 9-0.
Yeah.
We were jokingly trying to guess how many points would be scored in this game prior to it starting. The number 100 was thrown out.
And we all kind of laughed.
And there was some some laughing debate amongst some of the participants in the booth. But 90 points with 51 seconds to go. The Yellowjackets are able to score as quickly as the Mounties at times. So there's a chance the number ticks higher.
So Yellowjackets will have one final possession. We think one final possession of this first half. 51 seconds left to play before intermission. First down and 20 for Sheridan at their own 20-yard line. Or first down and 10 for Sheridan at their own 20-yard line. Barksdale, the quarterback, in for Dax McMillan. And Barksdale rolls to his left. Has a man complete. That's Zay Stevens across the 30. It's good for a Stockton Power Equipment first down. And the Yellowjackets trying to hurry to the line of scrimmage.
chunk yardage on first down there. Zay a little slow to get up. Waiting on the play call to come in. Clock is ticking. Going to have to move quickly.
34 seconds left and still rolling. Barksdale over the middle, has a man. First down yardage at the 47, 48 yard line. Walker Shields with the reception.
Yeah, kind of a deep slant, shallow post over the middle to Walker Shields. Jackets moving down the field quickly with 2 plays so far, almost to the 50-yard line. Got 25 seconds left on the clock to go the rest of the way. Sheridan's got a few, has got timeouts in their pocket, uses one there. And looks like, Braden, we got one timeout left. That was the last one, according to Braden Fact Check Sites.
So if I understand, if I remember the mercy rule correctly, if a team is up by 35 or more points in the second half, the clock keeps rolling. Well, right now, Rogers is up by 36 points. So if Sheridan scores before the end of the half, it prevents the mercy rule from kicking in to begin the second half of play. If I've got all that correct.
Yeah, great analysis, Andy. The scoring and the clock management here is going to be very important to how the second half shakes out and how much of a chance Sheridan is going to have to make a run at a comeback in the second half. We got an incomplete pass over the middle intended for Dylan Smith. Going to stop the clock with 21 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, that'll bring up second down and 10 now for Sheridan. They have the ball at their own 47-yard line. 63-27 your score. Rogers on top. And as Dakota just said, 21 seconds left to play in the first half. Yellowjackets send 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Barksdale complete across the 40-yard line in Rogers territory. Hunter Sosha with the reception for Sheridan. That was a nice reception. It was a little low, and he was able to get it with his fingertips and just haul it in.
Yeah, good job from Hunter Sosha, keeping his eyes on the football and picking it up off of the ground. A low ball going at his feet, able to secure the catch and get out of bounds after getting a few yards after the catch. Got 15 seconds left on the clock. Ball on the 39-yard line.
Barksdale has a man, Dylan Smith, complete, but he's inbounds.
Got to go quick.
Clock still
Gotta go
rolling.
really quick.
5 seconds, 4 seconds. I don't think they're going to get another snap off, and that'll do it. That's going to be the end of the first half at Rogers Mounties Stadium. It's Rogers 63, Sheridan 27. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout, and we'll be back after this. All right, we're back at halftime. Andy Mayberry and Dakota Hedden. Rogers Mounties 63, Sheridan Yellowjackets 27. An extremely high-scoring first half. Unfortunately, Rogers, the benefactor of more of those points here tonight, Dakota. And just your general summary of that first half.
Yeah, Andy, my summary of the first half is touchdown times 9 for Rogers and touchdown times 4 for Sheridan. 13 touchdowns in the first half. The offenses have been clicking on high cylinders. 28 points, 4 touchdowns, 27 points for the Yellowjackets in a half. Throw away the other team's score. That's a lot of offense in one half.
Right.
A lot of touchdowns. Have had success with both quarterbacks moving the football down the field and scoring touchdowns. However, facing an elite offense in Rogers that's put up 63 points and has scored every time they've touched the football so far. The roster that they have, the line has done a really good job protecting for the quarterback. He's had all day, and whenever he's gotten pressured at all, has been able to scramble, get out of the pocket, create absolute chaos, and throw the ball down the field, run the ball down the field. It's really been the Reagan and Lindsay show with some sprinkles of Voke and Daniel for Rogers. And then, for the Yellowjackets, Zay has had a big impact on this game. So has J.P. Black. If you're Sheridan, you just want to continue to try to score the football on offense, get a stop or two on defense in the second half, and just do not quit in this game. Finish it out. Play hard every play. Leave it all out on the field. And at the end of the day, Andy, I am very impressed with our showing in the first half, having the sample size to compare it to of the first time we played Rogers last year. These are two completely different games.
Absolutely. I think these Rogers fans and maybe the players were a little bit stunned when they scored so very quickly in the ball game, and then to watch Sheridan just retaliate very quickly straight down the field, and they hadn't seen that all year, and I think that was probably a little bit surprising for them. Again, Sheridan could have come in here tonight scared. They haven't played scared at all.
No.
These Sheridan Yellowjackets, they've come in, they've played hard. This is just a really, really talented Rogers team. I don't know how to emphasize that enough. This is being down on the field with them last year. I was able to observe firsthand. These guys are big, they're fast, so much more so than truly any other team that we play. Benton is probably the closest that you could compare to. But Rogers, a Class 7A school, huge school, fantastic facilities, and this whole part of the state, they just play sort of another brand of football outside of the Bryant Hornets.
That's right. You talked about Sheridan not playing scared. This team doesn't even know what the word scared means. They are not scared to go compete with anybody. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what name is across the chest. They're going to show up and play really hard, tough football. And we've seen a lot of fight from them tonight. They are flying around, doing the best they can on defense, and have really been able to score the football on the Rogers defense. So I'm happy with what I've seen from Sheridan. The effort has been there, which matters the most. And then number two, we've been able to execute against a very talented team, which is very encouraging for conference play.
All right. So that'll do it for us for the first half. We're going to take an extended break, and then we will be back with the second half of Yellow Jacket football. Actually, let's keep it right here for another couple of moments. Had a little small technical difficulty. We'll keep it right here for just a couple more minutes, though. We had talked about Kevin Kelly and talking to his team at halftime. Just come back out here in this second half. And I've got to think that if I'm Kevin Kelly, I'm talking to these guys and I see, we're down 36 points. Forget about the score. Forget about the score. Just go back out there as though this is a 0-0 ball game. Give it everything you've got, and we're just going to play to win the second half right now.
Yeah, go win the second half. If you win the second half of this game, that is a win in and of itself. And gives you really good momentum going into a bye week, a chance to get healthy and get really prepared for conference play. So there is opportunity left on the field. As an individual player, there are a lot of players for Sheridan that have aspirations, the ability, and the offers to go play college football. Whether it be Division II or Division I. This is your chance to put really good film on tape against a talented team not just for yourself, but, for your team, for your town. And so I think they're going to take advantage of that.
All right. Now we'll take a break, and we'll be back in a few moments with our second half. All right, we're back in Rogers. Andy Mayberry and Dakota Hedden. And back in Rogers, Andy Mayberry, Dakota Hedden, and Rogers on top 63-27 after an explosive first half of play. Both teams, their offenses putting up a lot of points, but Rogers, we said it before, but just virtually unstoppable in that first half.
They ran the ball, threw the ball, scored the ball repeatedly without ceasing. There was no stopping them the entire first half. They scored on every possession, faced 1 4th down the entire half. A very dominant showing from the Rogers high-powered Mountie offense, but not to overshadow a really strong performance from the Sheridan Yellowjacket offense with 27 points, 4 touchdowns in the first half. A mix of throwing and running the football. Zay Stevens with several big plays. J.P. Black with a couple of long touchdown catches as well. One intended, one by accident. Both a touchdown nonetheless. Looking for the Yellowjackets to come out and continue playing hard here in the second half. Curious to see how long Rogers is going to keep their starters in the game. I imagine they'll come out for the first series at least. And we will see what happens. The good news is that Sheridan gets the football and gets to start the half on offense. So excited to see what we come out with. We'll be curious to see if it'll be Dax or
Easton Barksdale,
first, but we've seen some rotation back and forth. What have you liked from each quarterback that you've seen?
Well, I mean, we've had a chance to watch Dax for the last couple of years, and we've seen what his attributes are. Certainly a tall quarterback. He's able to see the field. He's got a good arm, has good placement. Barksdale, I'm excited about him as a sophomore. The future quarterback for the Sheridan Yellowjackets. In the preseason, I know that Coach Kevin Kelly said that he saw one day in practice, he saw Barksdale make 3 passes that no quarterback he's ever had could have made. And we saw a little bit of a glimpse of that tonight. Had a lot of composure to be a sophomore out there playing against, this fantastic Rogers defense. So certainly I think that Sheridan fans have a lot to be excited for in the future with him as well.
I felt like he had a really good feel in the pocket.
He did.
While he was getting pressured, was able to step up a couple times, escape out to the left, to the right, keeping the eyes downfield. Really like seeing that from the sophomore. We had a couple, delay games. And so we got to get a little bit better with clock management, getting the play, keeping an eye on the play clock, call timeout if you have to. But throwing the football, pocket presence, command of the offense, we've certainly seen that.
And something else that we saw out of him was that he didn't just lock in on a receiver. Mm-hmm. He would look off and sometimes go to his second or even third receiver in that rotation. And so that was good to see out of the young quarterback. A lot of poise. All right, so we're getting ready to start this second half. We're just moments away, and we're waiting for the Mounties to take the field. Sheridan's going to send J.P. Black and Jaden Green back to receive. We've got the music cranking over there. I don't know if our fans can hear that or not. All right. So something to keep in mind for this second half. If I'm not mistaken, this will be mercy ruled at this point with Rogers on top 36 points in the second half, which would mean that the clock rolls throughout the second half. And our opening kickoff and the second half is underway. End-over-end kick is going to be taken by Green at the 10-yard line, the 15, the 20, and out of bounds at the 21.
every time we've received a kickoff tonight, we've really just kind of run up and out of bounds to the right, not trying to do too much, just trying to get positive yards, hold on to the football, and get the offense out on the field.
All right, so let's see which quarterback gets the nod to start this second half. And it looks like Barksdale trotting out onto the field. Sheridan has 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. Isaiah Stevens at the short side. 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line as the second half gets underway. Isaiah gets the call, and he crosses the 25, and the pile just keeps moving and out up over the 30, close to first down yardage.
Good to see that on the first play of the second half, handing the ball off to Zay, running behind a well-blocking offensive line, able to get really good yards on first down, brings up a 2nd and 2, gives you all kinds of options for play calling here.
2nd and short. Barksdale, lots of time, complete to Isaiah Stevens at the 38-yard line. That should be enough to move the chains. 1st and 10. That's another Stockton Power Equipment first down.
Yeah, good.
This third quarter brought to you by Edwards HVAC.
Good out route from Zay Stevens there, and a good throw from Barksdale. Put the ball right on the numbers, pick up the first down.
1st and 10. Barksdale rolls to his right, throws incomplete, trying to hit Dylan Smith.
Barksdale did a good job rolling to the right, keeping his eyes down the field, holding the defenders back, and gave himself time and space to throw to and underneath Dylan Smith. Just came up incomplete that time.
2nd down and 10 now. Rushes on, a little screen pass set up to Isaiah Stevens. He crosses midfield to the 49-yard line of Rogers. Good execution by the Yellowjackets.
Yeah, a lot of pressure in Barksdale's face, able to keep composure and hold on for enough time for the screenplay to develop. Good blocking out in front of Zay to pick up a first down.
Another Stockton Power Equipment first down. Yellowjackets on the move. And that's going to be a loss of yardage. Completed pass to Logan Brand, but he had nowhere to go, and it's going to be dropped for about a 4-yard loss on the play, back into Yellowjacket territory at the 47.
Yeah, number 97, Isaac Gullian, was tracking that play from the start, shadowing the running back out into the flat, ready for it.
So Logan Brand with a little playing time here in this second half. Barksdale in and out of the hands of Walker Shields, picked off by the Rogers Mounties into Sheridan territory at about the 40-yard line. And that's number 10 for the Mounties, Zeke Parsons.
Yeah, ball off the hands. It was a good throw. Really wasn't too high off the hands of the Sheridan receiver into the hands of a Mountie. There were 3 Mounties there, ready to catch that pass. Unfortunate turn of events. There's been a few times tonight we've got both hands on the football, not able to come up with it. That time we paid for it.
Clock rolling, 8:35 left to play in this Edwards HVAC third quarter. And the Mounties keep it on the ground. That's Kramer, still on his feet inside the 30, down to the 25-yard line. That'll move the chains for Rogers. 1st and 10 from there. We want to thank our stream presenting sponsors tonight, the First Trust Home Loans and Roof Connect.
Good run from Rogers, going right up the middle. Probably their best run play of the night from the halfback. Checking with the sideline, don't like what they see, getting into a different play.
Mounties have the football on the 25. again stay on the ground with Kramer. And the Yellowjackets close quickly, and they keep Kramer limited to a pickup of 2, maybe 3 on the play.
Some patience on that play, allowing blockers to get out in front and set up. Took the defense a second to shuck those blocks, but able to limit them to just a 3-yard gain.
2nd down and 7 for Rogers. Inside the Sheridan 25-yard line at about the 23. Clock still rolling, 7:10 now left to play in the 3rd quarter. And a complete pass and a flag comes down.
It's like a face mask.
So Titus Kramer with the reception, but looked like that was, as you mentioned, a face mask against Sheridan. We'll wait for the official signal.
The Mounties have really tried to get Kramer involved on this drive, probably doubling his touches in the first half.
My guess is that they're ready to just kind of roll some of this clock as well. It's momentarily stopped with 7:01. Kramer has been their leading rusher through the year. So they tack on that penalty to the end of the play, and it sets up Rogers with a 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line at about the 8. And the give goes to Kramer. He's going to try and turn that corner on the right side, and he won't be able to make it as he is hauled down there. Jackson Delk, it looked like. And Delk gets up limping a little bit, a pickup of 3 down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Rogers ran what looked like a buck sweep read option on that play. Decided to give it to the running back with blockers pulling around to try to seal the edge. A really good play from Jackson Delk to run through those blocks and bring him down for a short gain.
2nd and goal now. The ball on the Sheridan 5. 63-27 your score. And they try to sweep on that left side, and Kramer takes it in from 5 yards out.
Got a really late flag coming in from the White Hat holding on the offense. We saw it happen. Thought they were just not going to call it, but the White Hat saw it from the backfield. Play's coming back.
So a break for the Yellowjackets, and they'll bring this one back and mark off some yardage against Rogers.
The Mounties really have liked the buck sweep on this drive, picking up very positive yards on each side of the field that they run it to now. But the holding penalty brought that one back.
And the clock rolls at 5:55 left to play in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and goal from the 16-yard line of Sheridan. Rogers with the football. Fakes the handoff to Kramer. Regan, now he's going to keep it himself, crosses the 10-yard line, the 5,
Yep.
And he gets in the end zone, but 2 flags come down.
Yep, good call. Good call. Reagan went to scramble and was headed for the left pylon, and the receiver for Rogers, Cooper Daniel, with the block in the back. 2 flags coming in. The second time a Rogers touchdown has been called back in the last couple of plays. This time, they've run the buck sweep successfully to each side of the field. They fake it. Good coverage downfield from the Sheridan secondary, forced the quarterback to scramble and put pressure, on the receivers to make blocks. Ended up with a block in the back and ball coming back. So ball on the 15-yard line now.
Well, they
Second goal.
They moved it to the 20 and then marked it back to the 15 again. So we're back to where we were. 2nd down and goal from the 15-yard line. I think the play before it had been on the 16. So the direct snap to Kramer, and he's going to throw it and completes it to number 22, Xander Burke for Rogers. And so Kramer showing his versatility.
Yeah, they've ran this Wildcat package a few times now with the same combo in the backfield. This time, throwing the football definitely caught me off guard. I'm sure it did. Our boys out there as well, but they responded very quickly to it, bringing him down for a short gain.
3rd and goal inside the 5-yard line. This time, Kramer's going to keep it himself, and good power running by Titus Kramer, and he powers his way into the end zone. And I don't see any flags down, so it looks like this one will hold.
Really just powered his way into the end zone on that play. It was 1-on-1 at the goal line. The Roger running back able to win that time.
So again, Rogers showing all the versatility that they have, all the different weapons that they have, whether it's been through the air, wide range of receivers, certainly Braxton Lindsey being the most prominent of those throughout the night, but we've seen now Kramer getting to show a little bit of his skill set in this second half. And so with 4 minutes, 33 seconds left to play in the third quarter, it's Rogers 70, Sheridan 27. Let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with more Yellow Jacket football right after this.
So here at Manat Law, focus primarily on personal injury. When a client comes to me, my role is to try to eliminate some of those obstacles and some of those burdens that they're navigating so that they can focus primarily on getting better. Please call me. This is what I do, and I want to help you, and I want to hold those insurance companies accountable, or the person who caused your injury accountable, so that you're fairly compensated.
Back again in Rogers, Andy Mayberry and Dakota Hedden. Rogers on top 70-27. We're in the third quarter, this Edwards HVAC third quarter, where again the Mounties just really impressive all night long, Dakota.
They have been quite impressive. Still scoring on every single possession. Anytime that we've made a mistake, they've been quick to make us pay for it. And that's the sign of a really good team. Really good teams make their opponent pay for making mistakes and tend to not make very many of their own. No turnovers in the first half of the game. The first one came on a kind of a tip pass, interception, ball bouncing off the receiver's hands, first drive of the third quarter. And so Rogers made us pay for that. Offense coming back onto the field. It's Ethan Barksdale staying in the game at quarterback. We've still got the rest of our starters in. Hopefully we can get some good things going here.
We may have seen the last of Dax for the night. Stevens has a big hole up the middle. He crosses midfield.
Bye-bye.
He could go all the way. It looks like he's going to score. Yes, he crosses the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Sheridan.
Okay, I did not try to time his 80 there. Normally you time players 40.
Well, it was faster than mine.
Oh, yes, same. There's a classic run that Darren McFadden had against South Carolina, and I remember him splitting the safeties.
Yeah. All right, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And that's exactly what Zay did there.
They show it on replays all the time.
Yes, I mean, both safeties were there in the middle of the field trying to get to the center and stop Zay. Too much speed. You can't teach speed. He just runs straight through the middle of both of them. Nobody gets within 10 yards of him the rest of the way.
I don't know what Zay's numbers are for the night, but they're pretty impressive. He's racked up a lot of yardage, and so that closes the gap a little bit. 70-34 now. The Yellow Jackets missed the extra point, so 4 minutes, 10 seconds left to play in this third quarter.
Well, the over 100
Right.
has officially hit with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter. 90 points in the first half, and now at 104 for the night total. Love that after we have a turnover, first possession of the third quarter, come out and respond. and one play touchdown on our second possession of the quarter. Not much of a break for the defense. However, you got to take points when you can get them. But who's to say the defense is going back on the field? We've got an onside kick coming up. And, I talk a lot about law of averages and returning to the mean. Rogers has recovered every onside kick so far tonight. We'll see how this one goes. Not an onside kick, for the record.
Yeah,
Pooch
little
kick.
pooch. It's on the ground. Rogers fields it. And
some tough tackling
yeah.
for the Yellowjackets there. I mean, they are playing hard. I see J.P. Black in the mix down there. And, not an onside kick, but had a pretty good chance at recovering the pooch. It really kind of caught Rogers off guard, able to get behind him, take a few bounces, and create some mayhem.
Yeah, certainly it gave Sheridan a legitimate chance at a recovery there, just over the head of several of the Rogers players, and took that big bounce. And the Mounties do recover, so they'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
Looks like second string is in for the Mounties. New set of players.
Handoff's going to go up the middle. Several Yellowjackets in there. Good, strong running by the Rogers running back. Actually never did go down, but
very impressive
whistles
run.
blew it dead. Brooks Barriola, 5'9", 155 pounds is.
That's a strong 155 pounds.
Yeah, so strong running by Barriola. Second down and about 5. And Rogers, they'll send 2 receivers to the wide side of the field, 3 to the short. New quarterback in the ball game. He's going to air it out, but no, he won't. He's going to go down. And big number 50 for Sheridan. Leighton Tarter is the one who, there were 3 Yellowjackets there, but
yeah, Copeland Crutchfield in on that as well. Good to see the Yellowjackets come up with their first sack of the night.
Yeah, so our new Rogers quarterback in the game, number 11, Hunter Dickey. Oh, check that. I'm sorry. That's Caleb Porta. They have 2 number 11s, one on defense, one on offense. And so Porta, the quarterback for Rogers, he's a 5'8", 140-pound sophomore. So Porta with the ball, looks to throw, pocket collapses, he scrambles to his right, and now comes back, reverses field again, comes to his left, still looks to throw, hasn't crossed the line of scrimmage, has a man deep, incomplete, but that was almost a fantastic play. Intended receiver was Cole Woodruff. Coverage, Lawson Wallingsford for Sheridan, but just a really great play by Porta to keep that alive.
Andy, that was a great play from the offense and the defense. Laporta just kept scrambling around, keeping the eyes downfield. Thought he was going to run it several times. Couldn't believe he escaped the swarm of Yellowjackets on the top of your screen, and then heaves it downfield, makes a really good pass. Almost a really great catch from Rogers. We're there to break up the pass. However, there is a holding penalty as well as a penalty on Rogers coming in that negates. And so after all of that, we're back to 3rd and 5.
Yeah. You also mentioned a great play by the defense. So it's hard to maintain coverage on a play that's extended for that long.
Do you want to cover for 20 seconds?
Right, exactly. So credit that Sheridan secondary, credit the defensive line linebackers for getting pressure on Porta, and as you mentioned, penalty, and so it all comes back now.
That was a very entertaining replay of the down and distance play.
Yeah, it ran some time off the clock.
It did do that.
Yeah, clock started back again, 1:33 left to play in this Edwards HVAC third quarter. 70-33 your score. Rogers on top of Sheridan. Porta throws, has a man complete, and he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. Cooper McIntosh, And that was a beautiful throw by the sophomore quarterback.
That was a really good throw, a very tough catch. Receiver used his body well to kind of wall off the defensive back in coverage, come up with the catch and the touchdown. That was really good coverage. I think that was Braden Lewis, number 0, in coverage. Really good attempt. He's on an island over there by himself, one-on-one, and just credit where it's due. That was a really good throw and catch.
Yeah, that's a sophomore quarterback to a sophomore wide receiver. So I'm sure the Rogers fans pleased to see their youngsters outperforming well tonight as well. 76-33, and the extra point kick is up, and it is good. And so with 1:13 left to play in this third quarter, it's Rogers 77, Sheridan 33. Let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with more Sheridan football
Here at
after this.
Manette Loft.
Shelby Taylor Trucking serves all your timberland needs in south central Arkansas. With over 50 years in the industry, Shelby Taylor Trucking has established themselves as trustworthy leaders in the industry. From planting to harvesting to hauling your timber, Shelby Taylor Trucking is ready to serve you. Follow them on all social media platforms at Shelby Taylor Trucking. Learn more by visiting their website at staylortrucking.com. That's staylortrucking.
Back again, and it's Rogers 77, Sheridan 33. And, this Rogers second team also still pretty impressive folks out there.
Pretty good themselves. Had to earn it. A really good showing from the defense. Going to have a chance to get the ball back again here. Continue to just work hard and strain, try to get better.
Yeah, you could see there's a lot of effort on that Sheridan defense out there. Good coverage, but just a well-executed play. The kickoff's going to be fielded by Black, and he'll bring it out to about the 20-yard line. Yellowjackets will take over 1st and 10 from there, as we've got 1:08 remaining to play in this third quarter.
I see number 32, Gunnar Hoyle, coming in at running back for the Yellowjackets. I see some different receivers coming into the game. Dax is back in the game as well. And so curious to see what we're going to put together on offense on this possession.
Dax McMillan back in at quarterback, as you mentioned, Dakota. Yellowjackets with the ball. Dax looks to throw. Little crossing pattern over the middle is complete to Hunter Sosha, and that's enough for a first down, a Stockton Power Equipment first down. They'll move the chains, and Yellowjackets have it at their 31.
Yeah, good kind of diving catch from Hunter Sosha on that play. Way to go down low for the tall receiver and catch the football. First down on the first play.
Dax looks to throw again and was trying to hit number 17, McMurray Meyer, and it goes incomplete and brings up second down.
McMurray, first time we've called his name tonight. He's a sophomore, so you can see that the Yellowjackets are getting some sophomores and some young players into the football game with some experience.
Always good to get some experience in a big game like this, playing a big opponent in the big stadium. We've got a timeout on the field. We'll take a 30-second break. Actually, that's the end of the third quarter, and we'll be back. We'll take a 30-second break and be back with the fourth quarter right after this. All right, we're back again. We're back again in Rogers. Back again at Rogers, 77-33 your score. Rogers on top of the Yellowjackets as we start this Roof Connect and First Trust Home Loans fourth quarter. That's a mouthful.
A lot of syllables. A lot of syllables in this name as well. Brandon Gostinski with the catch on the sideline on the out route. Good throw and catch. Dax put it right on the money, and Brandon did a good job getting both feet in. First down Yellowjackets on the first play of the fourth quarter.
Stockton Power Equipment first down at the 41-yard line of the Yellowjackets. Dax in at quarterback. McMillan pivots, throws complete over the 50-yard line.
Really nice wide receiver screen.
Yeah, that was
Dax
Jaden Green.
looks left, flips around immediately, and throws to Jaden Green with a couple receivers blocking out in front. One of my favorite things about these receivers is how well they block for each other.
Absolutely. So the Yellowjackets inside Rogers territory once again at the 49-yard line of the Mounties. Dax pocket collapses, tries to spin out of it, throws it out of bounds and incomplete, and good job by Dax just getting rid of that football and not taking the sack.
A very heads-up play from Dax. Nowhere to go. Knows he's got a receiver over on the sideline and just gets rid of it. Avoids the sack.
Good job by the senior quarterback. Clock rolling, 10:15 left to play in the ball game. And Jaden Green, along with Gunnar Hoyle in the backfield, along with Dax. And Dax looks to throw, and it's going to be intercepted, I believe. Yes, officials do mark that it's an interception by the Rogers Mounties. And
that was number 20, Cohen Chalmers. Looks like we were trying to set up a wheel route to the running back. Looked like Dax wanted to throw over the head of the defender, however, came out low at the defender's feet. Results in an interception.
So the Mounties will take it near midfield at about the 49-yard line of Rogers. First and 10. The clock momentarily stopped with 9 minutes, 54 seconds. I take it back. It's at the 49-yard line of Sheridan as the two teams swapped ends there. I think they were a little confused for a moment. All right, Porta at quarterback. And he's going to give to a new running back in the game, and he's down to about the 40-yard line of Sheridan.
It's like a gain of 9 on the first play.
Javen Shade with the carry for Rogers. 5'6", 175-pound sophomore.
Yeah, a lot of quickness from the sophomore.
Yeah. They mark him just short of the first down. So second and less than a yard to go. And he'll get another crack at it. And this time he picks up first down yardage near the 35-yard line. And again, Shade with a nice run. Moves the chains.
Yeah, a little bit more quickness from the sophomore versus number 4 for Rogers earlier in the game. A little bit more power and patience. This running back is running, just knifing through the defense, showing a lot of quickness.
First and 10 at the Sheridan 37, 38-yard line. Low snap. Porta handles it. Hands off and inside the 35.
Manhandled by number 43, Tony Robinson, sophomore defensive tackle. A really tough tackle there.
Pickup of about 4 on the play. Yellowjackets with the football at the 35-yard line. Check it, Rogers. Porta, complete. Inside the 25, first down yardage, still on his feet. Trevor Durham with the reception.
Rogers continues to move the chains. Another first down for the Mounties, this time with a slant over the middle of the field. Clock is rolling still, 7 minutes and approximately 15 seconds left. Ball is at the 22-yard line.
Yeah. Rogers in no hurry, just trying to roll that clock, but you still want to give your youngsters some good playing time in there and opportunities to score and show what they can do. Pass is complete. Again, that's Durham with the reception, and it's enough for another first down for the Mounties at the 12-yard line of Sheridan.
Another tough catch on a slant route over the middle. Rogers has really liked those throughout the night with the first string and second string. Some tough catches these young players are making. Defense continues to play really hard. You know, that has not stopped.
Again, no quit in Sheridan tonight. Punched back at every opportunity, and this time the give inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, you see it with 4 Yellowjackets there on the tackle. They're still swarming. They're still playing hard.
Ross Stevens was there, Jackson Delk, a couple of other Yellowjackets as well. Second down now at the 9-yard line. Rogers can pick up a first down at the 2. Clock still rolling now at the 5:45 mark. Porta, the quarterback. Brooks Barriola in at running back. It's Barriola with the call. He's going to follow his blockers inside the 5-yard line down to about the 3. Ross Stevens with the tackle along with credit Waylon Partain.
Yeah, just shy of the first down marker, about 1 yard short. Good stop from the Jackets, preventing them going into the end zone, making them earn it.
You'd love to see a big goal line stand right here by this Yellowjacket defense late in the ball game. Third down and 1 on the Yellowjacket 3-yard line. It's Shade in at running back, and a little pitch in around and trying to make it to the end zone, but will not be able to get there. Trevor Durham with the carry.
Awesome play from Lawson Wallingford, tracking it down, not giving up. The receiver tried to be a little shifty at the end, and that did not deter Wallingford, able to bring him down. However, the Mounties do pick up a first down on the play.
He got just enough for the first down as they'll spot the ball on the 2-yard line. So first and goal from the Sheridan 2. It's Shade in the backfield with Porta. Shade takes it and follows his blockers into the end zone, and another touchdown by the Rogers Mounties. So, Rogers with 3 minutes, 58 seconds left to play in the ball game. By the way, this fourth quarter, again, brought to you by Roof Connect and First Trust Home Loans. The Mounties take a 50-point lead, 83-33, and in to attempt the extra point for Rogers. All night long, it's been Juan Chaparro. His kick is up, and it's good. I don't think he's missed one tonight. I think he's perfect on his extra points.
He has not. Jackson coming around the edge hard, like he has all night. Still trying to get there to block the extra point, getting close, but putting pressure on the kicking unit nonetheless. 84-33, just under 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Have a chance with a running clock to maybe go down and score one more time to end the game with a little bit of momentum. 33 points on this Rogers Mountie team is an impressive showing, and I don't want that to be overshadowed by the number of points that Rogers has.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. You know, this is a team that their first game of the year, they gave up 3 points to Class 7A North Little Rock. They gave up 6 points in their second game to Muskogee, Oklahoma. And I mean, a very stout Rogers defense and a Sheridan offense that, you know, has performed well all night long. And this Sheridan defense, they've given a tremendous amount of effort. It's hard to describe how good this Rogers offense is. I can't imagine there's many teams that would be able to just stop them or shut them down. Yellowjackets.
We do here on the kick return. Dylan Smith fakes the return. We've been just casually going
He's still
to
on
the right out of bounds all night. He fakes it, goes around the left side. Nobody's going to catch him. He is going to waltz into the end zone for the touchdown. Amazing play all night long, very casually. Whoever returns the football just goes towards the right sideline, no big deal. Well, this time, after they've been lulled to sleep, he reverses field, goes out to the left, fakes a reverse, and nobody even gets near him. Touchdown, Dylan Smith. Touchdown, Sheridan Yellowjackets. Love to see that. Great way to carry some momentum into the following week.
123 points on the board now tonight between these two teams. 84-39 and 84-40 as the extra point is good. 3 minutes, 51 seconds left to play in the ball game. Let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with more Yellow Jacket football after this.
Banking is a lot like football. You need a solid game plan to reach your goals. Every yard matters, and every decision can move you closer to the end zone. Just like a great team relies on trust and protection, your finances need the same. From managing your everyday money to saving for the future to making the big plays when opportunity comes, success takes preparation, teamwork, and smart moves. Because both in banking and football, it's not about how you start the drive, it's about finishing strong in the end zone.
Back again in Rogers, and it's 84-40, and if you're just joining us, yes, that's a correct score. 124 points in this ball game as the Yellowjackets have scored 40, and very resilient all night long. Every time that some teams might have given up, they do not do so. No quit in the Yellowjackets tonight, and the kickoff is going to be taken by Rogers and returned up to about the 40-yard line. The Mounties will take it from there, 1st and 10. 3 minutes, 46 seconds left to play in this ballgame.
We were still oohing and awing over the return, over how well executed it was. Rogers was just asleep from the coverage team standpoint, expecting the Yellowjackets to just jaunt out of bounds again. However, we had other plans. Very exciting play, and just shows you've got to pay attention, you've got to focus, you've got to expect the unexpected, and that was a nice wrinkle here in the fourth quarter to see. We've got Rogers coming back onto the field, 3 minutes, 25 seconds on the clock.
Porta, hands off, good tough running. Again, that's the sophomore Brooks Barriola with the carry. Pickup of about 6 yards on the play to the 44-yard line. 2nd down and 4.
Brooks with a couple of spin moves. The Jackets able to keep him contained. Brings up a 2nd and 5, limited it to a 5-yard gain. I'd love to just see us keep them in front of us and get a stop here, prevent another touchdown.
Barriola again with the call. Is going to be close to the first down. I think he's probably short just a little bit. Yeah, actually by about 2 yards. They say his knee touchdown at the 47-yard line.
All right, 3rd down. Haven't seen very many of these today. 3rd down opportunity. Let's get a stop here.
Clock.
Maybe force a punt.
Now the clock rolling at about the 2:10 mark now. 3rd and 2. Porta fakes the handoff, throws, and it is incomplete.
Yeah, incomplete pass brings up the 2nd. 4th down of the night.
Yeah, he was trying to hit Cole Woodruff, and the pass was a little low and bounced off the turf. Woodruff unable to come up with the catch. Brings up 4th down, 2 yards to go.
All right, come on, guys. Y'all got punt the football.
A minute.
I want to see a punt. That means we get a stop.
A minute 32 left to play in the ball game now. Rogers going for it, or at least appear to be. Play clock at 3. Porta throws over the middle, complete. 1st down yardage inside Jacket territory to about the 39-yard line. Number 81 with the reception, Jace Wicker for Rogers.
Completed a lot of tough slants over the middle. Honestly, kind of surprised to see them attempt that on the 4th down.
Yeah.
Given the 44-point lead in the 4th quarter, but nonetheless, they converted it. Still have not stopped the Mounties the entire night from converting a down series.
1st and 10 for Rogers at the 39, and whistles blow just as that play. There was a timeout on the field.
Probably time to take a knee.
There's 35 seconds left to play in this ballgame. We're just going to keep it right here for the moment. So 84-40, and as you mentioned, Rogers has converted all night long. And
every down series.
Yeah. You mentioned being a little bit surprised that they threw that pass on 4th down, and
there are unwritten rules.
There are 34-point lead. Some would argue that, well, you just want to give your guys game situations to play in, but whatever the case may be, we're about to be back to action. 84-40, Rogers on top of the Yellowjackets. 35 seconds left to play in this ball game. 1st down and 10 at the Sheridan 39-yard line. Porta, low snap. Shade gets it. He's got 1st down yardage still on his feet inside the 25-yard line.
Clock is not running notably, just started ticking. The White Hat is aware of it, communicating with the keeper of the time.
I looked before as we were starting action, I saw 35 seconds and saw the play take place, and then I looked to see how much time was left, and it was still 35 seconds, but it's at 31 right now, and I guess they're running it down to 27 is what it appears like, and now it rolls 23-22, and I think that's going to do it here as our two teams come to midfield to shake hands. The clock rolls down inside the 10-second mark, and you had to know that this was going to be a really uphill battle tonight, Dakota. I mean, this is an excellent Rogers team, and Sheridan making that trip from Central Arkansas up here. But you've got to be impressed with the way the Sheridan boys came out tonight. Again, we've said it over and over again. They weren't afraid. They didn't back down. These nice facilities up here and this high-ranking Rogers team didn't intimidate them in the slightest. And they came out here and gave full effort for the entire 4 quarters of this football game. And they racked up 40 points on this Rogers football squad.
Very impressive showing from the Yellowjackets. Very proud of the effort that was put out on the field today. Scoring 40 points on this Rogers team is extremely impressive. Very proud of that effort. Very proud of the hard play on defense. Andy, I do want to give a shout out to Teeter Motors for the 6 touchdowns that we were able to score. I think we might have left the Teeter Motor touchdown out.
We did. So
6 Teeter Motor touchdowns.
Lots of Teeter Motor touchdowns.
Yes, and we had a few Ace Hardware penalty flags, but not very many. A very clean game from Rogers for the most part, and
happy to have had the Teeter Motor touchdowns. Thank you very much
Yes.
to all of our sponsors tonight. Our stream presenting sponsors, First Trust Home Loans and Roof Connect. Our coaches show was sponsored by J.M. Fry, Inc. First downs all by Stockton Power Equipment. Penalty flags against the opposing team, of course, Ace Hardware. Our Sheridan touchdowns by Teeter Motors. First quarter by McCoy Tigert Pharmacy. Second quarter by People's Bank. Third quarter by Edwards HVAC. And fourth quarter by Roof Connect and First Trust Home Loans. The Sheridan Yellowjackets next week, Dakota, will have a bye week at a very needed time. A little bit of time maybe to heal and lick some wounds and get ready for conference play that starts the following week at West Memphis. And then the Yellowjackets will play their next home matchup on October 3rd against Jonesboro, and then into the meat of that conference action, traveling to Benton the following week.
yeah, the schedule doesn't provide much relief. The bye week is coming at a great time. Need to use it to rebound from a couple of losses, as well as get some of our guys back healthy. Excited for what we're going to see in conference play, especially with a healthy roster. This, to me, is a very encouraging performance. We've got to stop people on defense, but goodness gracious, people are going to have to score with us to be in any game, and our offense can flat out score.
I think this a definite improvement over last week's showing against Lakeside, where the Yellowjackets were in it for 3 quarters, but really, to be honest, they just weren't quite on their game. A few things just missing last week, and we saw some big improvements tonight. Again, a bye week coming up next week. For Dakota Hedden, I'm Andy Mayberry, and we will be back with you in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening to Sheridan Yellowjacket Football.